This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a fly ball to deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends on the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. Cruz! Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
I'm all discombobulated. Oh boy. Problem was starting our get me up a little bit. There we go. Folks, I put my headset on. The thing was all
It's another Friday.
It's a mess. An absolute mess. How are we? How are you? How is everybody? Little Friday. We got a great show for you. What's going on, Commander?
Not much, rough one yesterday for the A's, but the weather's been great outside. And if we want to take a positive out of anything.
Well, first of all, you people all got to be like Bill Belichick. We're on to Cincinnati. You got to be. I don't mean to be disingenuous, but it is the reality of how you got to deal with it. You got to move on. You have to understand where the team is. You're going into Atlanta. They're not happy right now. I mean, I got news and notes on Atlanta. They're not thrilled with that. But you got to move on. Our sport is a sport where no matter what happens in the past, you got a lot of future left. What is it, June on Sunday?
June tomorrow. Today's
June
the 31st.
Tomorrow?
Today's the 31st.
Yeah. We got 4 months left of baseball. You're gonna cry about what happened the last couple of days in Tampa? You have 4 months of playing almost every single day other than the All-Star break, and you're gonna sit here and you're gonna do what?
I live or die with every game.
Yeah. Well, if you do that, good luck. It's on to Atlanta. And that's how the players have to do it. How can we feel like my mic is stronger and we're not going crazy? Is there anything we can do? Up a little. There you. Perfect. Without blowing everybody's ear. Is that good?
Yeah.
All right. And that's really the mentality you have to take. It's not a football season where you're dead in the water and everybody. I mean, you still have you got 4 months of baseball left. And you have to realize that, well, it's what matters is what happens today with JP Sears. Yeah, the last 2 days sucked. Last 2 days are hard. And when you have the extra inning rule where you start the runner on second and you go 12, man, it's super exciting. It's super intense. I love it. But when you go a long time in that scenario, it's rough sledding. When you go 12 innings and you do 3 extra innings with starting a runner on, they're gifting you a runner on second, man, a lot of drama happened. A lot of things go on. Team scores, the other team comes back and scores. That's why they talk about you need to get 2 runs. You want, hey, sacrifice bunt, play for a run. It's like, teams believe you got to play for more than 1 run. But this is the business. And the business is you get on the plane, you go to Atlanta, and this is a whole new series. You cannot dwell. I know the traveling party, it was a rough one. Just checking in with the traveling party was not easy. And there's not a lot of great news, right? Lucas Ursig heading back to the Bay Area to have his right. I know Kotze said left forearm. After the game, we clarified with the great Greg Korn. Have you ever heard of him?
It's funny. We both texted him at the same time.
It was right. It says right, so that's not great news, but hopefully we will get great news as he is one of the terrific stories for the Athletics. But now you take on Atlanta Braves team who, I'll tell you right now, Braves have lost 10 of their last 15. They lost yesterday to the Nats. If you got to watch the highlights. They've scored just 49 runs in that span. They're 12-14 in May. This will be their first losing month since
Was it 2022?
March 13th through the 15th. May 2022, 13th through the 15th. Long time ago. They've been steamrolling everybody. Hasn't been great. So here we go. We'll go over it. It's tough, but you got to move on. You have to. And that is the fine line that we have to play on this show. And it is really the fine line I have to play on the A's Clubhouse show. Because I'll be honest with you, these shows are all different, and they have to be different. I can't do this show and then do A's Total Access and then do the A's Clubhouse show all the same. They're 3 different programs. They all have to be done differently. And it is kind of a tightrope at times trying to be different between them because you're covering the same team, the same information. Obviously, on this show, we do a lot more Major League Baseball. We cover the entire league. We cover the sport. But the real big tightrope that we're walking is what is the record now and how do you play for the future? Because we're human beings. We worry about the now and we worry about the future. We go to work now to earn the money, but we put money away so we will have a future. We buy homes and take care of the home so we can live in a home now, but we buy it because it helps us financially for our future. We have retirements for our future. So it's not easy worrying about what are we doing now, because I get a ton of people who stress about now, and it's always tough for me. I go, yeah, I get it, but I'm also more worried about the future because the future is where the winning hopefully really will come. This group is never going to win big. We want them to win and be competitive, but this group, the way they're assembled, they're never going to win big. So if you have those expectations kill people, right? We put expectations on things. A lot of times I do this with my kids. You put these high expectations on stuff, and the majority of the time, it doesn't live up to it. So then you're disappointed because it didn't live up to your high expectations. So if you don't set high expectations, you can enjoy stuff more. Understand that you think we're going to Disneyland. Well, there could be some things while you're at Disneyland that could go wrong.
Rides could be closed, weather.
If Matterhorn is closed, the trip is not over.
There are plenty of other rides, but yes, seems like that's happened more recently for me going there.
Now, it was under construction for so long. I will say this, if Space Mountain's closed, I'm walking out.
Don't you be upset because they tore down old Space Mountain.
If Space Mountain is not open at Disneyland, Old Towny Ball Game's going to be pissed because that's the ride.
Don't you be upset.
Yeah, that's like showing up. Like, hey, I'm showing up to watch Babe Ruth. Well, he's not in the lineup today. I'm out of here. Does that make sense? You put too great expectations on something, stuff's going to go not the way it's planned. You got to be able to go with the flow, and then you'll still have a great time.
You can take that from the team level to the individual player level. I mean, it's happened a lot. There's a lot of play. Just look at a lot of the players in baseball this year that we had high expectations on, and they're struggling. Like, it's just some live up to it. Some rise to it, some don't.
That is a whole different can of worms there. There's a lot of really good players not playing well.
It's more than you think, too.
It is. I mean, you can take that old back of the baseball card cliche and stick it where you ever like to stick your old back of the baseball cards. Man. And you could say, but this guy, he's starting to get hot. You don't put up those numbers unless you do it consistently throughout the year. It's just how this game works. And there's going to be a lot of guys at the end of the year, like star players, who either any of these guys we call future stars, that are either not going to have good numbers or were hurt. Right out of the gate, Mike Trout, Ronald Acuna Jr. I mean, you're going to have like top players already hurt, and then you're going to have top players. You go, man, that's like, what does Julio Rodriguez have to, speaking of expectations, what's he going to have to do to get to where you expect him to be? He's just a long list of guys that you're looking at, really good players. You go, man, they're not having the kind of year you expect.
Yeah, he's been swinging better. Paul Goldschmidt's another guy that comes to mind for me.
He's going to have the most all-world summer to get to his expectations.
No, a guy that was struggling to start the year, and he's going to potentially set the record for most extra base hits by a Yankee in a month, and Aaron Judge. He's one guy that's really kind of turned it around, but there's a lot of guys. You mentioned Trout, Acuna. I mean,
he's had to have an all-world period.
Yes.
But what happens when that ends?
Does he go back to being Aaron Judge before that, or to Aaron Judge we saw to start the year?
Are you ready for 130 today?
There's a lot to get into with the leader of men.
Fran Riordan, the leader of men, the manager of the Las Vegas Aviators. He's been in a tough battle against those Space Cowboys. You think it's easy fighting Space Cowboys?
Such a great name.
Who do you fear more, a Space Cowboy or a fighting Chihuahua? I'm going to ask Fran Riordan that. These are the hard-hitting questions you get on A's Cast Live. What's tougher to defeat, a Space Cowboy or a fighting Chihuahua?
Well, I would have to go as someone that owns a dog that's part Chihuahua. I'd go probably the Chihuahua.
See, to me, the Space Cowboy is going to be like fighting Tyson. It's going to be over quick. Whoever wins, it's going to be over quick. The fighting Chihuahua is going to be like Ali. It's going to be a 15-round battle. Neither fighter will ever be the same after the fight. I always love that. Neither of these guys will ever fight.
Yeah. But like just looking at the Vegas team, like Roy Bear Salinas pitched last night. Joe Boyle pitched this week. Luis Medina pitched this week. Pretty sure I saw Luis Medina in the dugout yesterday.
We've got updates on moves. By the way, the leader of men, Fran Riordan at 130. CJ Nitkowski, our buddy, bringing on for years, friend of the program. He's coming on as a Brave, not a Ranger now.
First year with the Braves.
This is going to be a tough like what? We'd be talking about Marcus Semien took a day off. Rangers aren't hitting, not the same team. Blah, 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 blah. Under 500 for the first time under Boch. Nope. He's an Atlanta Brave now. How's that? Or broadcaster. He played for like 9 teams.
But I think he lives in Atlanta. I think he lives in Atlanta too.
Is that the 411?
I think I've heard him talk about how he lives in Atlanta.
I'm going to guess for the amount of teams he played for the Braves at some point. Played in the KBO. Yep. Okay. So CJ, if you say CJ's back home playing, broadcasting where he played, he's from New York, right? He's from upstate New York, I want to say. He's from Suffern, New York, wherever the heck that is.
We'll say upstate New York. It's fine.
He played for the Reds, Tigers, Astros, Tigers again, Mets, Rangers, Braves, Yankees, Nationals, the Hawks in the KBO, another team in the KBO, the Bears in the KBO. So he played for 4 different teams. So there's 4 different places in Korea he could call home. Played for a lot of teams. So yes, the Atlanta Braves. All right, so we'll talk to him. Quickly do the update. We have roster changes, but then something about guys not playing well, something really interesting. It's been talked about, but we're going to use MLB Now and Eno Saris to maybe explain why this certain thing. I don't think they're all thinking about it yet. Maybe we like to help them out here on A's Cast Live. We always like to be forward thinking. I think there's a forward-thinking idea right now that when they say tying the pitcher to the DH, Is that a good idea? Now, they're thinking it brings back starting pitching, but it may be a really good idea for us, the viewer. We like to think of the viewer. But go ahead on roster changes.
So Danny Jimenez and left-hander Brady Basso, who was here before, never appeared in a game, they're back from Vegas. Lucas Erceg's on the 15-day injured list, retroactive to May 26th with the strained right forearm. And Tyler Ferguson back down to Vegas. The other part of the news, Tyler Nevin, who was DFA'd on Tuesday, has been outrouted to Vegas. So he's
no way.
So he's still in the system.
No way.
Jordan Diaz was playing last night in Vegas.
No way.
Buying or selling, Tyler Nevin will be back on the big club this year.
Selling.
Oh, okay.
I don't that, and I'm not trying to do. I just, what would have to happen for you to say what you saw and what his career has been? This is what it is. Like, this was his shot. He was playing well, couldn't extend it, and in the end, went back, regressed to what his career has been.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, especially where what positions he plays. I mean, I think if there's anyone down in Vegas that's going to come back first, it's apparently Nick Allen's Pete Rose down there hitting 460. So
we had a different shortstop tonight.
Yeah, it's not Max Schumann.
Max Schumann getting the day off.
It's Letmus Diaz starting a short tonight. Lineup looks pretty much the same as the last couple of days, except for McCann's catching for Langoliers. So
right-handed Lopez going for Braves are highly favored in this one.
I think the over-under is only 8, right?
8.5 is the over and under.
Oh, they raised it. Okay. What I saw earlier was 8.
Which is interesting from a gambling perspective. JP Sears, if I'm looking at JP Sears, last outing against the Astros was fantastic. And it's kind of like, which JP Sears are you going to get? Save that for after Fran. But from a gambling standpoint, A's may be a good bet tonight. And I'll explain why. It depends on what Searsy, I'm making up nicknames. Searsy you're getting. So there's been talk about the way we get starting pitching back is to connect the starting pitcher with the DH. You take the starting pitcher out, you lose your DH. We're back to National League Baseball, my friend. From a bookkeeping standpoint, I hate the idea.
Okay. I mean, I get it.
A good host always brings it back to himself. If I got to go back to double switch and do it, I mean, it's a mess for your scorebook. Other than that, I love it. From the scorekeeping standpoint, for us old people who still keep score, it's awful. I hate National League Baseball. And I grew up in a National League town, and I hate that. The pitcher should never hit. Stupid. Nobody, I haven't had to go over this in a long time. Let me refresh everybody's memory here. When these ignorant people, ignorant just means you don't know the facts. It's really not. Whenever you hear ignorant, people take it as like, you got a slur going at them. No, the definition of ignorant just means you don't know the facts. We had a lot of ignorant people who would say, the National League, that's the way baseball is supposed to be played. Well, if that's the case, why is there the DH in high school? Why is there a DH at the community college / JUCO level? There's all through college, NAIA, all the way up through Division I, all use the DH. Minor league baseball, all use the DH. American League DH. So everybody down to the lowest level of high school baseball, freshman baseball, uses the DH. But you think you're the ones that do it right. Makes no sense. You're the last of the Mohicans, and it took all those years for you to change to realize this is the way the game's being played. You're just being archaic, and we're getting to watch a bunch of hitters bunt badly and watch a bunch of pitchers hit under 100. But you claim you like watching this. You like watching an easy out in the lineup. The numbers showed it was an easy out.
Yeah, there's only certain guys that that were okay as hitters.
And name me who they are and go look at their numbers and their number. But Madison Bumgarner would hit a home run. Yeah, his average still sucked.
Well, it's easy to go. Well, Shohei Ohtani's a good hitter, but no, it's
wow.
Bumgarner,
Wow.
Michael Lorenzen.
Wait, why you can't say you can't make that comparison with Shohei Ohtani
because he's not pitching.
He's not a pitcher.
He's just a DH now.
Will he ever really be a pitcher again?
I like the idea we talked about for the last couple of years of him being the closer for the Dodgers.
I mean, look, Mason Miller. I mean, if you're the Dodgers, you're not looking at Mason Miller going, God, we've always kind of struggled with the club. I mean, when's the last time the Dodgers really had a true closer? It's been a while. Their true closer's been gone.
You're talking about
Kenley? Yeah.
I was going to say, you're going way back to Gagne.
That was cool. The other day, there was a picture of Koufax, Hershiser, Fernando, Gagne, and Kershaw.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Gagne does not look.
By the way, I'll tell you what, the old lefty, I don't know how old he is.
Sandy's is a mid to late 80s now.
Sandy Koufax looks phenomenal for his age.
Sandy's 88.
Oh, my God. He doesn't look 88. If that's what, that's good living right there. Sandy Koufax, like you look at the picture, I mean, Oral is aging worse than Sandy Koufax. Yes. God bless Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers of all time. But let's say we tie the DH to the starting pitcher. He goes out, DH, he gone. Kind of really changes a lot too, right? Because you only have 13. Well, it might change a lot of things, which I do like. Could be we take one less pitcher out of the bullpen and make you put another position player. Because right now with 26, you basically have teams going 13 and 13. 13 pitchers, 13 position players. You need more bench. You would need to have more bench players. What happens if you get into an extra innings game? You don't want pitchers being position players.
Yeah, or pitchers hitting.
Right? You're gonna need more bench. So this would be, I love the idea because it's going to make you rely on less pitchers. Our game has now gone volume. Let's get as many pitchers. Let's have as many pitchers. I mean, the game yesterday, we had 14 pitchers in yesterday's game. We only played 12 innings. We had 14 pitchers. It's a joke, 7-on-7. If you think that's entertaining, okay, for us, our guys are not nameless. For their guys, they are. And then on the flip side, do you think that the Rays people are like loving seeing Tyler Ferguson? We had Alexander, Allen, Miller, Ferguson, Kelly, Michael Kelly. I mean, to the Rays fans, they don't know who our guys are. It's not entertaining. It's the entertainment business. It's not entertaining to have a bunch of our guys are not nameless faces because they're our guys, but their guys are. So I'm just trying to shoot shoes on the other foot. A bunch of our relievers are just nameless, faceless, another guy out of the bullpen, 6'4".
Hey, you forgot that you mentioned they used an opener.
And they used
that opener yesterday.
Right? I mean, it's bad. It's bad entertainment.
Was it Sean Armstrong was our opener, then Tyler Alexander, who they just optioned to AAA, was the guy, the bulk guy after?
Yeah, they sent down their bulk guy, who was after the opener yesterday. Does that entertain? So that's kind of been, some people tell you about the traffic from Tampa to St. Pete, but they also say their brand of baseball is boring. Like you just got every day, you got a bunch of different pitchers. They're constantly shuttling guys up. I mean, we're the organization, everybody complains you never get to know the players. What do you think it's like to be a Ray?
Yeah.
From a pitching standpoint.
Yeah, I was going to say pitching standpoint for sure. I mean, they got some exciting position players, but pitching-wise, I mean, and plus a lot of their guys that they rely on are hurt. McClanahan, Baz.
And that's partially on them because that's their strategy is like, hey, this guy's a really good guy. He's been hurt. We'll take him, rehab him because we can get him cheap. It's always cheap, 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 cheap. All right. I like the idea. Here's where it may be good from the entertainment standpoint. We talked the other day with super analytics data guru, our national baseball columnist, Eno Saris. And the reality is that a pitcher, third time through the order, let's not look at the numbers part of it. Let's just look at the human element of it. The third time a hitter sees the same guy, he's just more comfortable against him. Makes sense. I've seen you for a third time. Ryan Spilborghs, who we had on the program, from the Colorado Rockies, Sirius XM, CJ Nitkowski. See how we tie it all together? CJ Nitkowski's broadcasting partner on Sirius XM, the show Loud Outs, great show that they do. He talked about like dance partners, right? A pitcher and a hitter, you're like dance partners. Our pitching coach, Scott Emerson, says hitting is timing, pitching is trying to screw up that timing.
Disruption of timing.
Disruption of timing. So it's about rhythm, right? And when you start getting a better rhythm against a guy, you need to disrupt that rhythm. But if the third time through, it's like a dance partner. You and I danced the first time. Okay, now we dance the second time. We're probably going to be a lot better on the third time. We got more rhythm. So here's the deal. Forget the numbers. I don't care what the third time through numbers are. If we were to get more of this, because I can see at the scorebook, whenever I see Mark Kotsay walking out, all I have to do is look at my scorebook and go, here we are. Doesn't matter. It could be 68 pitches, 86 pitches, 96 pitches. Doesn't matter. Every once in a while, like the other day, Hogan Harris was allowed to go. I remember J.P. Sears in a game that he was losing. I don't remember the game, but two different instances. When J.P. Sears had the no-no in Texas, the minute he gave up the hit, Kotsay was out there.
Quickly.
Ball like hit the ground, Kotsay was already out there. If Farbos Dallaire would have the camera on Kotsay and the ball at the same time, I guarantee you when the ball was hit, Kotsay was already walking out.
Ball leaves the bat. He's already
ball hit the ground. He was already walking out. But then like a start or two later, he allowed Sears to keep going because he needed the length. He needed to save his bullpen.
Hogan threw out 102 or 104 pitches yesterday.
So if a guy's in a good rhythm, you let him keep going, right? But in our world, the analytics department says no. But the reality is, forget the numbers. Stay away from the numbers. Let's just do it for more of the human element. I've seen you now a third time. I'm just more comfortable. Well, if we're forcing teams to keep starters in for longer because they're tied to the DH and hitters are more comfortable, wouldn't that mean balls? And instead of replacing starter who we've now watched for a few innings, people are clapping, there's excitement. We're used to watching this starter. We're enjoying the game. Maybe the offense starts to gain a little edge. They're putting the ball in play. Isn't that better than 6'5", nameless bullpen guy that no one knows who the hell this guy is, coming in, throwing 100 miles an hour?
Yes, theoretically, yes.
Right? I'm just speaking as a baseball fan. I now get, soon as the offense gets comfortable, take the starter out, take that battle out. Like, that's the fun battle. Third time through, fourth time through, the pitcher, it's the chess match, the chess match that we don't get anymore. Soon as it becomes really fun in the chess match, manager's taken out, and here comes nameless 6'4" guy blowing gas. They don't want that. Well, you know what? I like checkers. I don't play chess. I like checkers. I like the mat from a fan standpoint. I like it. Right? Don't we like to see how Steph Curry navigates the different defenses throughout a game, or how to quarterback? Because when a quarterback's playing, they're constantly changing the defenses. I can tell you in halftime, all they're doing at halftime is talking about adjustments. I've been in NFL locker rooms at halftime. They put all the pictures up. They're pointing all this. The defensive coordinator is screaming at everybody because it's 15 minutes. You get guys up. You have your everybody eats peanut butter and jelly. And all of a sudden, it's protein, right?
Yeah.
So they're eating peanut butter and jelly, and they're all looking at pictures, and it's all about adjustments. Isn't that the cool thing? How the game played in the first half versus the second half? Baseball robs us of that. Because now we got to bring in the next 6'5", 6'4" stiff who throws 100 miles an hour and hope he throws strikes. That's our game today. Boring. And you wonder why everybody's hitting 176. That's the chess match of Greg Maddux going up against Barry Bonds for the third or fourth time in the game. Or I'll stick with your Pirates theme, Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke, whatever. By the way, what was the movie where the fast food guy goes, "You're cool, you're cool"? No, you're effed, you're F you.
I saw that thing. It's all going on Twitter. I don't remember what movie that is.
Well, they did it with the Mets.
That's what I remember seeing it
Jorge
from.
Lopez. F you, you're cool, and it's Bobby Bonilla. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw the video. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to make sure Fran has see where Fran is.
Leader of men. Why was it 1:30 yet?
It's 1:30. Yeah.
But the point is that if we leave the starter in, and now the hitter is more familiar with them, maybe we get more balls in play. Maybe we get to see these great athletes play more defense. Maybe we see less strikeouts. Maybe we're not seeing 14, 12 strikeouts.
Oh, there's Fran.
I mean, the game could be way better. I really like the idea.
There's one thing we might need to ask Fran about at the end. Bills just made a monumental signing. They just picked up a guy that was a gold medalist wrestler and a former WWE guy to play for them.
The Bills did?
Yeah, something Stevenson or WWE released him, and then the Bills signed him.
I think it's a great question. Do the Bills call the great Fran Riordan, the leader of men? Do they call him and ask, "Hey, what do you think?"
They might. I mean,
there's rumors Fran's in the draft room, the war room for the draft.
I can see Fran hanging out with Sean McDermott and with Billy Brandon Bean as the GM.
I mean, all Fran does is win. Why wouldn't you put him in your draft? Why wouldn't you consult? He's there. Can you imagine Fran all blown up, his buddies drinking beers at the Bills game, and the coaches are calling, "Hey, Fran, what do you think?"
Hold on. Let's put my buddy through a table. Hold on.
Wait, my buddy's going to crash through a table. I'll get back to you in a second.
Hold, it's on fire. Hold on.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen's on the phone. Do we have Fran?
Yeah.
Fran, I apologize for that intro, by the way.
No, that was the best one yet.
How are you?
I'm great. It's getting a little smoky here in Vegas, but I'm doing well.
So are we at the time of the year every day's 100?
Yes. Short answer, we absolutely are. It just started. It was kind of mild here for the first couple months, and yeah, it's just now we're almost in June in Vegas, and it gets hot.
Do you have to really stay on the players about hydration? Because some guys are probably not used to living in a desert, obviously playing in a desert. I mean, it's a different deal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally, but I know our sports performance department does, and they have their specific hydration stuff. And yeah, it's pretty important to stay hydrated here, though.
Yeah, I've thought about that before, because I remember when football teams play on that, they have to like stay on the guys. Like you got to stay hydrated. How are things going for the Aviators? We the season you got off to a little bit of a rough start, but then we saw you started winning again.
Yeah, we've been up and down. We started a little bit rough, and now, we're a couple games under 500 right now, but we're competing every night. And, we're kind of in the midst of a slew of transactions with some of the injuries that have happened. And, we're just trying to see what we have every day, assess every day, and try to win with what we have that night.
So when I think about two guys that obviously we're really interested in, Jacob Wilson and also Max Muncy, two of our first-round picks. We know two guys that we believe are going to be a big part of the A's future. Where are we with our two young shortstops on the IL?
Well, I don't know how close they are to a return. I guess or season ending or really all that serious in the whole scheme of things. But I really don't know when they're going to be back. I obviously look forward to their return, but there's really not a concrete timetable to when they're going to be back here.
You've seen now Jacob Wilson down at spring. You were with him all spring training. You've now got to manage him just a little bit. How good, when you talk about those bat-to-ball skills, how good do you think this kid really is?
I mean, it's a special skill set. He has the ability to touch a lot of baseballs. As he grows and grows into his strength and gets stronger, those contact points are going to become more impactful, and I think he's going to do some damage at the major league level. And he's just a really fun kid to be around. He plays the game the right way, plays the game with a lot of intensity, a lot of purpose, a lot of respect, and he's a great teammate. And, I'm all in on him. I really enjoyed being around him in the spring, and, the limited time he was here, he was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like when I got to call a couple games at spring training, here you are at Camelback Ranch and you're playing the Dodgers. We know all the talent they have. And he's right out of college and he fit right in. He didn't look like a guy that had been in college. He looks like a guy who looks like everybody else. I think he's better defensively. What do you think defensive-wise? Is he better than people think?
Yeah, I don't know how people view him defensively, but I view him as a very good defender. He's got some sneaky arm strength in there. He moves really well. His instincts are good. His footwork is really clean. And sure, he has some ways to go to polish up what will be his final moves at the major league level. But yeah, just a really athletic player.
And then for Max Muncy, it's like every single spring, it's like a new guy shows up. You're like, God, he's way bigger. Like this was the year that you walked in. It's like Max Muncy's not a kid anymore, physically. And just talk about how you've seen the improvement just everywhere in him as he's getting bigger and growing into that body.
Yeah, obviously our sports performance department is doing a great job with Max, and Max is. You can tell with the results is working really hard in that department to put on some really good weight, some good athletic weight, and add some explosiveness to his already really athletic frame. So, just hopefully Muncy can get back here as soon as possible because he's so great to have in the clubhouse. He's so great to have on the field, and we kind of miss his energy around here.
Yeah, I'm having to really look at this batting average, 460. Nick Allen's hitting 460. What have you seen from Nick Allen since he's come down?
Well, consistency. Nick's really always hit at the AAA level, and we're just seeing the same consistency that we've seen that just hasn't translated at the major league level yet. And I think it will. I think that as he stacks up quality at bats here and continues to do the things that he's been doing for the last 3 weeks since he's been here. I think he'll get another opportunity and thrive. But in the meantime, he's just really been consistent offensively, defensively, and obviously the results are there. You see what he's been doing. He's got some doubles, just a tremendous amount of hits, and he's taking his walks. And his situational hitting has been very good. So it's just been a lot of fun to watch since he's been here.
Let's check in on some guys that were with the A's. I've been sent down to really kind of figure it out again. Obviously, Nick, I think if you're hitting 460, you're kind of figuring it out.
Yeah, it's not a real small sample size at this point.
Yeah.
He's played in probably 15 games since he's been back. So, yeah, it's just really nice to see him have that kind of success.
Yeah, I'm not a math major, but 460, Jesus. Lawrence
That's doing it.
Yeah, that's every day showing up to the yard swing. You're having a hard time getting a guy out who's hitting 460. How's Lawrence Butler doing?
He's doing great. There's been some inconsistency in his at-bats, but he's doing the things that he needs to do to get back to the big leagues. He's using the whole field better. He's still commanding the strike zone. He's playing good defense out in the outfield, and he's impacting games for us. So I think just the consistency factor needs to get up a tick or two, and going into games, just really focusing on having 4 or 5 quality at bats every night, and then the results will speak for themselves.
He's a big part of the organization from a standpoint. It's hard to explain this to people, but it's like drafted by the A's. He's brought up through the system. All the coaches love him. He loves being here. Players gravitate to him. There's certain players like that everybody in the organization is looking at. And if he does well and gets to the big leagues, it's just good for the organization. Am I overstating that? Am I explaining it well? There's just something that's special about Lawrence Butler.
There is. He's got an energy about him. People gravitate towards him. And you nailed it. All of the players in our org, the coaches and player development in the minor leagues who have touched Lawrence in some way in his career path to the big leagues. The fact that we drafted him, as a high school player coming out of Atlanta, and then kind of watched him grow up from a young pup into what he is now, and continue that path with where he'll eventually end up as a regular big leaguer. And it is special for the organization. It's great when we have our own drafted or free agent signs that come up with us, and we get to know them and they get to know us. And there's a certain amount of pride there that can't be overstated.
Yeah. What is that like when, you see these kids drafted so early and then they finally get to you, and you've been watching them. You get to know them real well in spring training. What's it like when a Lawrence Butler finally shows up, or a Max Muncy, the high school kids that are drafted, and they finally show up to you?
It's great because, like you said, I obviously follow the draft picks, and whether you're a first rounder or 20th rounder, I am very into the whole system and our success as a whole minor league system. So you follow these guys' career paths, and you hear about them from other coaches, and you hear about them from other players that come up, and what kind of guys they are, what kind of players they are, what they're doing, good, bad, funny. It's just great when you finally get the opportunity to manage the guys that you've watched in spring training or watched, peripherally from the single A or double A ranks, where you're paying attention to how they're doing, and then they come in your office and shake your hand and say, "Hey, let's go. One more step, baby."
Love it. Ryan Noda has not gotten back on track. I see yesterday 1 for 5, still hitting a $182. What have you seen with Ryan Noda since he's come back down?
He's been in between a little bit, a little late on heater out front on breakers, and he's just trying to find a rhythm. He's trying to find a flow and a consistency in the batter's box. He's still controlling the strike zone pretty well. He's drawing his walks, and the power's been there. I think he has 4 homers since he's been back, but the batting average isn't up to his standards or the org standards, and he's just working really hard every day to get back that feeling that he had for the majority of last year, where he was a really productive major league hitter. And we're doing everything from a staff standpoint to get him to that point again.
It's so tough to make changes during a season. It's one thing to make changes in off season, bring those changes to spring training, kind of hone in the skill and the changes, and then start the season. What is it like when you're like, okay, got to make some changes, but we got to do it on the fly, and we got to do it during a season?
I tell you, Towny, it's a fickle beast. Sometimes changes need to happen. Mechanical changes, mental changes, they need to happen during the season, during competition. And that's not easy, depending on the player and depending on how committed you are doing it, depending if you feel you need to do it, depending who it came from, your agent, your someone on the big league staff, somebody on the AAA staff, a coordinator, a front office situation. There's so many variables that go into it. But that's what this game is all about. It's all about adjustments, mechanically, physically, mentally, and the best ones are able to do that. And you get 150 games, you're gonna see some variations in a lot of different things, and sometimes you need to do things to get on track and make adjustments. And that's what they strive to do in the big leagues every day. It's what we strive to do here, and it's what we strive to do at every level.
Fran, let me tell you, I know when playing golf for money, let me tell you something, in 18 holes, there's a lot of different swing thoughts. Next thing you know, I'm changing grips. I mean, it's survival, baby. I'll do anything. I can't, in 4.5 hours of golf, it's amazing how many changes you can make.
No, I'm with you. I played around yesterday and I had 9 different swings. I promise you that. Hey, let me also tell you, none of them were very good.
Yeah, at some point, none of them work. And at the end of the round, you're like, "Here's $40. I lost." Where do you normally play? Do you play TPC Summerlin down there a lot?
I have not played that course, actually. That's one of the few around here that I haven't played. I'd love to get out there, and hopefully will soon. Kenyon Gate is a great track. There's the Red Rock Arroyo course is right around the corner from us. Bears Best is pretty close and a fun course. There's so many beautiful courses here, and there's not a lot of time to get out and play golf, but we do have the Mondays off, so I try to take advantage.
What time at this time of the year where you got to get out super early?
It depends how tolerant to the heat you are. If you don't mind playing in 100, you can tee off at noon. But If you don't like playing at 100, you better tee off at 8 or 9.
Basso is back up. He was here for one day. He came up, and then he went down, and now he's back. What should we expect from the left-hander?
Well, I mean, he's only had a few starts here with us, and he's been impressive. He's had spurts where he's been dominant, and he's had some struggles, but that's just like anybody. He's got good stuff. He's got a repeatable delivery. He throws 4 pitches for strikes, and he attacks the strike zone. So I hope it's going to be electric. I hope he's going to have a great debut. I know he got his beak wet a little bit with a call up, but didn't get to pitch, and hopefully he gets that opportunity now.
No doubt. A couple guys, couple pitchers. Roy Bear Salinas pitched for you last night. Obviously, he was a part of the Sean Murphy trade. We're going to talk about that a little bit later since we're taking on the Braves. I know you've seen him only a couple times. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I've only seen him for 2 starts, and he's competed well. He's got a great slider. I think his velo's been a tick down from what I remember in spring training and last year. I know he was a high, mid to high 90s guy, but I don't know the reason for his drop in velo, but I'm sure it's just the grind of the season and maybe something mechanical he's working on. But I really like the way he competes. I like the way he goes after people, and the slider's a really plus pitch.
And the one guy we can't wait to show up, of course, is going to be Luis Medina. And we know Medina's got all-world kind of stuff. When he's ready, it's the 60-day IL. He's eligible to come off. What have we seen from him so far?
I think a more refined version of what I remember seeing him last year. His strikes are more fine. His command is more fine. And I'm not saying it's going to be, painting corners all day and no walks ever. But he's just a lot more consistent in the strike zone. The slider is a really, really good pitch. It's a wipeout pitch. And the fastball is a free and easy 100 that he's working down in the zone. He's getting swing and miss up top of the zone. So, Louis is just such a great guy to be around. I love having him down here for rehab and just being a part of his energy and, talking to him every day and just having a good time with him. But I think he's in a really good place physically. He came out of all of his rehab outings feeling great physically and ready to go.
Isn't it amazing? I mean, and it's like an effortless 100. I mean, it's like a God-given ability. It's just something you can't teach.
It is. It's special and it's fun to watch. Just a guy that doesn't look like he's doing anything other than playing catch, and then you see it come out of his hand. It just is an explosive missile. It's a lot of fun to watch from the side, from behind. I couldn't imagine being in the batter's box and having to try to hit it, but it's just, you're right. It's like an art.
All right, let's end on this. I think an unbelievable story is Max Schumann right now. Max Schumann, I joke all the time, if you're going to find a big league shortstop, you're going to Eastern Michigan, right? That's where you're going to find your shortstop. A 20th round pick. He comes to us, and all we hear is he can play everywhere. He can play outfield. He can play infield. He's really good playing everywhere. And next thing you know, because of injuries and sending Nick Allen down and Hernandez getting hurt, he's playing every day. And then I started to remind people in the month of May how he's hitting. He's not only playing because he has to, he's playing every day because he earned the right. He earned the right with his bat to play every single day. And it kind of shows everybody, not everybody's going to be a first-round pick. Not everybody's going to be a bonus baby. Here's a 20th round guy out of Eastern Michigan getting his shot to play shortstop. Not all over the diamond, shortstop every single day at the big league level. What kind of story has Max Schumann been for this organization?
Now, you nailed that. Just describing Max's journey and what he's been able to do since he got to the big league level. Everyone loves Max's story. He's been with us for so long, and whether or not the organization thought he was going to be a big leaguer, his coaches thought he was going to be a big leaguer on the way up. I'll tell you someone who never doubted it was Max Schumann. And when you have that kind of self-belief and that kind of talent and that kind of work ethic, and look, he wasn't going to stop until he got to the big leagues, whether it was with us or with another team. And that's the kind of drive he has. That's what motivates him. and you are never going to get him off that. And to see him go up and perform at the major league level the way he is at a premium defensive position, when let's face it, I don't know if he had 5 games for me at shortstop in AAA this season before he got called up and started to play there every day. I've had him for parts of the last 3 years, and probably can tell you that he only played shortstop maybe 15 games in parts of 3 seasons, while moving around the diamond and always saying yes when you asked him if he could do something. Hey, can you play first today? Can you play left today? Can you play third? Hey, we need an emergency catcher. Can you be that guy? He never said no. And you don't say no, and you keep working at your crafts, and you keep buying gloves and getting gloves for different positions and different different levels in different cities. And then most importantly, you keep producing to keep going up the ladder and keep getting better. Good things happen. That's what Max did. He 100% did this on his own with just hard work and determination and just a fierceness that you really can't deny is going to make him a pretty productive big leaguer.
That's awesome. That really is awesome. I mean, what you're saying, him real well, and it just kind of, it's for all the young players and parents who watch this show. He's an absolute inspiration. All right, on the way out, should the Buffalo Bills consult with you? I mean, is it a weekly call? Should you be in the draft? I mean, come on. How could you help this organization finally get over the top?
I should 100% be in the draft room. I mean, it's not even a question. As far as player acquisition, it wouldn't hurt if they gave me a call, so I could give the final stamp of approval on whether this guy's a yes or a no. It's kind of shocking, a little bit surprising that I'm not on some sort of retainer to kind of help get them over the edge so they can finally win a Super Bowl. But maybe their people will talk to my people and we get something going.
No doubt. NFL consultant is what you're who's this guy? They just got a wrestler now, the Bills? Cody, what's going on?
Yeah, so they signed, I don't know if you saw this or not, Fran. They signed Gable Steveson to I think he's supposed to play like offensive line, or I have the notification.
You got a WWE wrestler now.
2-time NCAA wrestling champ Gable Steveson signs with Bills despite no football experience, his agent told Adam Schefter. He was in WWE and they got rid of him. I don't think he was going to work out as a former Olympian or former gold or national champion wrestler in WWE. So Bill signed him, no experience. Maybe he'll do something for them.
Wow. Maybe he can be the Max Schumann story of the Buffalo Bills this year.
Oh, see how he ties it all together. He ties it all together. That's why he's Fran Riordan right there. Well done, my friend. Tip of the cap. Great stuff, Fran. Be well. We'll talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thanks.
The great Fran Riordan right here on A's Cast Live. How good was that?
Bills consultant.
I feel better now. Oh, yeah, I'm getting an update on this thing now. My phone's like, whenever my phone, my phone is not something that I'm always, and when you have a family, whenever there's a lot of stuff going on your phone, you kind of worry, right? You're like, oh, God, what's going on? But all of a sudden there's I get the, why the Bills are signing Olympic gold medal. I don't need that. I don't need you to send that to me.
He was in WWE for 3 years. He's 24. He's 6'1", 265, so he's going to be playing defensive line. I think I said offensive line. He's going to be a defensive tackle.
Yeah, that's basically you gave misinformation to Fran Riordan.
I just said they signed a WWE guy. I'll tell him that it's going to play defensive line. But
speaking of misinformation, I gave it yesterday in the postgame show that I'm going to have to go back and correct later on tonight when the caller from Denver asked me if anybody has ever won the division under 500. I said yes. I was wrong. I knew I was positive that it happened. I was just a little off on how a team that won a division. I remember there's somebody under 500. The Padres in 2005 finished the season 82-80, but they lost all 3 games in the postseason to the Cardinals to finish 82-83. So a division winner, when it's all said and done, has finished under 500. It just wasn't at the regular season. That is where I was wrong. So I will have to correct myself tonight on the postgame show.
I was looking at that roster. I mean,
Oh, that's
a who's who.
That's your guy Phil Nevin. That's Ryan Klesko. Sean Burrows.
Brian Giles.
That team stinks.
Dave Roberts. Khalil Green.
Won the division at 82-80.
The X-Man.
That's a Cal Bear right there.
Blummer before he went to the White Sox.
Yeah, Blummer got traded. He was
there for
World Series hero.
That's 78 game Padre Jeff Blum. He had 5 homers with them. Who was their pitchers? And they had Peeve Dog.
Peeve Dog's birthday today, according to the notes.
Peeve Dog. They had 2 pitchers win double-digit games. It was him and the great Adam Eaton. Not Adam Eaton, the outfielder.
Peeve Dog is 43 today. You know who also its birthday is today? You just named him.
No. Well,
you only had about 5 names. One of them was
Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts is 52.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday, friend of the program, Dave Roberts.
We're the same age. If you don't know, I played against Dave Roberts in high school, and I played against him in college. We had that conversation spring training a few years back. And then the last time we had him on, I didn't mention it because we weren't face-to-face.
But was that last year we had him on? I think we had him on over the phone, yeah. He's a good interview when you get him. I listen to him I hear him on Sirius XM. He's good on there.
Dave Roberts is great.
Doc, as they call him.
Yeah, I mean, I know we want to think everybody is like Earl Weaver and it's Sparky Anderson. It's the old skipper. It's my gut. I'm using my gut. No one's using their gut anymore. Sorry. I wish we could go back to a time where a manager shows up, gets a cup of dark coffee. He's got his heart darts, his cigarettes, sitting in there, and he's doing his lineup. And you know what? Today, to hell with it, I'm doing this today.
So you're channeling your inner Jim Leland.
Yeah, I mean.
Your baseball spikes on.
Did Billy Martin smoke? Billy Martin had to smoke.
I was going to say, I mean.
Everybody smoked at some point back then. But that's, I wish we could go back. The manager makes the lineup. The manager makes the decisions. Nobody questions it. This is what I'm doing. And if you don't like it and you'd fight with the media, print it.
Managers in the 80s were pretty, late 70s and 80s were pretty
good. In the 60s, print it. You tell all those blankety blanks, print it. Lee Elia, the press conference in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else in the world's working, and these losers are here at the ballpark. It's not exactly what he said it better than I did. Problem is, to play it, we got to bleep it. But it's one of the greatest rants ever when he's ripping his own fan base
for being there.
Because it's day baseball, right? They don't have lights.
They wouldn't.
The rest of the world's working, and these effing people are. Oh, dude, it was the best. And he kept saying, "Print it. I want them to know I'm saying it. These guys are working their you-know-what's off, and you're out here criticizing them. You don't even have a job." Yeah,
can you imagine
that's the kind of manager I want back, who takes on the fan base.
Can you imagine if a manager said that now?
Print it.
The clip would be so viral.
I'm saying F you to the fan base, and I want you to print it. Make sure this gets to the paper. What are you going to do about it? That's the kind of guy you follow. I have no idea what his record was with the Cubs. Probably wasn't very good. But you know what I'm saying. I wish we could go back. One dude, I'm hiring you. You make the decisions. We'll supply you players, but we don't do that. So, Dave Roberts, and these guys are all sensitive because we're not transparent in baseball, so we don't want to admit it, but it is what it is. Managers, front offices are all working together. It's not crazy. Steve Kerr told you back in the day, I remember when I was around it all the time, Steve Kerr would tell you when we'd have him on my show, Steve Kerr would tell you everything that the Warriors did when they were winning championships was working with the front office. It was like, I always used to laugh, like everybody's cool with Steve Kerr and Kirk Lacob and the boys doing all these and Bob Myers and all the data in basketball. But then all of a sudden we're going to rip Bob Melvin because he and Bean. And wait a minute, it's cool for the head coach of the Warriors to be all into analytics with the front office, but it's not cool with the manager. What? It's just the way the sport is. So I think Dave Roberts catches a lot of heat that he shouldn't catch. And that the Dodger front office, which is super interesting that what we've learned. I mean, they've got Dodgers have people that will come up with certain things that people like Dave Roberts don't even know who they are, and he will never even see them. We've learned that. Think about that. I mean, no different. I mean, I guess if you're working for NASA and you're building rockets, you don't know where some of the data is coming from. I guess you wouldn't care. But then again, you're not the guy that's got to talk to the media when you're building the rocket. But that's what it is. I mean, Dodgers have like independent contractors that will be working on just breaking balls, and you work on just fastball, and they're working on all this data, and they're doing all these types of things. Dave Roberts doesn't even ever see these people, let alone know who they are. He doesn't know it. Dave Roberts is getting this thick ass. Remember Joe Girardi showed Ray Fosse the big binder that he gets?
Mm-hmm.
And Girardi just held it up to Fosse and went, "This is what I'm dealing with." You think Joe Girardi knew who all these people were who were putting all this stuff together that are trying to tell him what to do?
No.
But none of them got to come down and talk to the media before or after the game. Joe Girardi has to talk to the media after the game. Same thing now, Mark Kotze, Bob Melvin. We want to think that this one guy, I mean, Kevin Cash has won Manager of the Year how many times for the Rays?
That's either 2 or 3.
Check it. Because this is going to be, what I'm going to tell you is mind-blowing.
Kevin Cash has won it twice.
So the guy that's won the American League Manager of the Year twice. Literally, what time's our guy, CJ?
2:30.
Literally has his whole game scripted. For all these years, they have scripted their games. And we praise the Rays. Look how successful. They script out the entire game. How like Bill Walsh was the first guy. I don't know if he was the first guy, but he's known for the first 20 plays. We're going to run these first 20 plays. And in those first 20 plays, we'll see how the team defends them. And then after that, we'll know which way to go. Right? I mean, it's pretty genius. That's why he was the genius.
Shanahan does that now, too. Or he has been doing it.
Well, where does Shanahan get it?
That's what I mean. Like, he's just following. He hasn't won anything, but.
But where did he get it?
Yeah, Bill Walsh.
He got it from his father. Who got it from what? When he worked for the Niners.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Niner person, but I love me some Bill Walsh, the Hall of Famer bobblehead right down there. San Jose State, of course. San Jose State Spartan Bill Walsh. I don't know. No Niner crap on this desk. San Jose State Bill Walsh. All right, so you do the first 20 plays, figure it out. Well, that's what the Rays do. The Rays have basically scripted out because it's a lot easier than you think. Because we're now down to, if you have 13 position players, 9 are playing, right? So how many reserves do you have?
Well, 8 are playing.
Huh?
8 are playing. The pitcher.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Eight
so you
are
have 5.
playing.
So you have 5 reserves. Yeah.
Well, one's a backup catcher.
Yep. So you have 4.
So you got 4.
Yeah.
So you're going to script the game against your opponent. You know they got 4 guys. That guy can pinch hit or whatever, but they got 4 guys. So it's not like you have this deep bench that you got to worry about over there. It's you can pretty much script out and kind of know if I get this guy, because that's how they do it. You're going to go X amount of innings, then you're going to go the innings, and we know if he pitches, probably going to use that guy. Rays script out. I have been told, and they've been doing it for years. They script out their games. It can go a little haywire. Like if a guy gets hurt, pitcher gets hurt, you got to change things, whatever. But for the most part, the Rays going into a game pretty much know what they're going to do. They pretty much know when you're going to hit, when you're going to play, what you're going to do. You think Kevin Cash manages by his gut? It's a gut feeling.
Well, he learned from Tito. But I'm going to go with no.
crazy, but that's where our game is.
I was looking it up while we were talking about Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts has been the manager since 2016. He's won 100 or more games 5 times. It's pretty impressive.
What's his overall managing record?
Well, we won't include the one game he managed with the Padres and lost.
Did he win or lose?
He lost.
Why did he manage the Padres?
It's a great question. So obviously,
because he was with Was he with Bochy? But Bochy.
No, this is 2015. So that would have been. So
somebody get fired.
So there was Bud Black, who was there for 65 games. Then Pat Murphy was there, and then and then Dave Roberts did I guess the last game.
The last game.
So he was.
That kind of sucks. That's on your managerial rep. Wait a minute, I'm just filling in for this game.
Clearly he did a hell of a job because the Dodgers hired him that same offseason.
What is his career record with the Dodgers for a guy that's supposedly he sucks?
789 and 464. 789 wins with the Dodgers.
What's that winning percentage?
630.
What an idiot he is.
Kevin Cash is the manager of the Rays. He has a 543 winning percentage. So we're 500. But
we're 500.
Won 100 games once.
I mean, Dave Roberts has had a lot of success dealing with a lot of crap. And he gets a lot of. All right, coming up next. Playing the Atlanta Braves. When you think of the Atlanta Braves, you think
Phil Niekro.
Wow. Phil Niekro.
Steve Avery.
Throwing the butterfly. Hey, David Fletcher's getting people out with that knuckleball in the minor league.
He struck out Gunnar Henderson.
No, Jackson Holiday.
Jackson Holiday, that's right.
He struck out Jackson Holiday the other day.
Got a little excited. When I think
Braves, and the way he kind of he's got this I like it. Give me more. What's the knuckleballer for the Padres?
Oh, Matt Waldron.
He wasn't a knuckleballer. Now he's throwing the knuckleball almost 50% of the time. Yeah. I love it. Bring back Steve Sparks. I said hi to Sparksy, by the way.
Okay, you did see him. Okay.
Yeah, I did see him. I said hi to him. Former Steve Sparks, now broadcaster for the Astros. I'm like, bring back the knuckleballer. Why? Because they throw innings. And you know what? They don't get Tommy John.
That's very true.
Can you imagine if we had a guy where we went, you know what? Sears is throwing the knuckleball today. He can go 7 or 8. Everybody, we can rest everybody. He's going to be out there. We're good. How many pitches? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly.
And you never get comfortable. It doesn't matter what time through the order because you don't get comfortable against the knuckleball anyway.
Yeah, I know when you think
160. It's like a softball pitcher. 160 pitches today, folks.
I know when you think Braves, you're thinking Chipper and all those guys. I'm thinking Deion Sanders.
I think A's fans think trades.
That's very true.
Coming up next, why don't we? I got asked about it yesterday in the post-game show, kind of sparked my memory. Why don't we look back? Matt Olson, Sean Murphy. How's everybody doing? We'll talk about it next right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Visit your local hobby shop, retailers, and Topps.com to collect the first product of the season, Topps Baseball Series 1. Follow @Topps on social media to join the conversation and start sharing your collection today.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our Year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
With more sunshine returning, it's time to get outside and make the most of what Cinnabar Hills Golf Club has to offer. Like 27 championship caliber holes tucked in the beautiful hills of San Jose. And take advantage of their amazing Bay Area views for your next special event. It's all for you at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club, an award-winning venue designed to peacefully take you away from the bustle of Silicon Valley. Go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-for-me or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Streaming from the studio, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
Got a little A's baseball today. Highlighted in the notes, Abraham Toro leads the American League in hits in the month of May.
Was he at 38, right? He tied Giambi in like May of 2001.
I mean, remember how everybody, oh my God, this guy's got to be in the All-Star team. This guy's got to be in the All-Star team. You know, he may not make the All-Star team, but he's been the best player by far. And by the way, Mason Miller gives it up one time, and already I got people go, well, maybe now it's time to trade him. He's not going to be perfect every time out, and he's not going to throw 103 every time out. It's not possible. I know we get so geeked up as fans. He's never going to be hit. It's unhittable. No, you're going to get hit.
I was just, when he gave it up, and then he's still in there pitching, and I'm like, all right, man, keep striking guys out because I want you to break that strikeout percentage record.
Yeah, we'll keep track of that. He strikes out over 50% of the guys that he faces, which is incredible.
Yeah, I was following it for a while yesterday. Then once he started the intentional walks, I'm like, yeah, this is like going to bring them.
Oh, that's not good. You can't do – wait, we got to – Mark Kotze, by the way, we're not having the Mark Kotze show today. It's on us. We had stuff that we had this morning. He's on – it's always different when they're Eastern time.
Very true.
It means it way earlier for us when they can do it because of batting practice and everything. And it's on our end. So we told Kotze, my bust. Well, you got to pick your wife up from the airport. She's been in Mexico drinking tequila.
God. Just found out she gets back from Scotland, and then she's home for a few days, and then she's going to San Diego. No, we're going to Monterey for something on Sunday. Then we come home, and then she's going to San Diego for a food fest. I'm like, what?
And this is the guy that complains that I got to post game at night. Really?
Well, I'm not going to San Diego. I have to work.
Where are you working?
I'm pretty sure we have a homestand. I can't go.
It's not on the weekend?
No, it's some food fest they do during the week in San Diego every year.
So the Mark Kotze show, not going to happen today. We'll hook up with him next Friday. On us, our fault.
51.5% strikeout percentage. So he strikes out 51.5% of the batters.
Yeah, those intentional walks were not good. But Toro's got an 819 OPS in the month of May. He's got 3 dingers, 8 doubles, 10 RBIs. And it's amazing. Hitting 319. The year he is having is amazing. Only Aaron Judge, and who's your favorite non-ace player?
Mine?
Who did I predict to win the American League MVP? Hosey.
Oh, yeah, Jose, yeah.
Jose Ramirez. So only Aaron Judge, 24, Jose Ramirez, 19, have more extra base hits this month than J.J. Bleday. My guy, J.J. Bleday.
I think he leads. I want to say he leads the team in extra base hits.
I told you. I kept telling you, you got a first-round talent. This kid could be special. Nurture it. Grow it. J.J. Bleday. Play him every day. I predicted him to be our leader in everything, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Rooker, a 1,017 OPS this month, is the 4th best in the major leagues with at least 75 plate appearances, trailing only Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez, and the now hot Corey Seager. And that guy that we waited for, Andujar, he's hitting 350, a dinger, and 8 RBIs in 5 games. So there are some good news. There's some good news. There's offense. There's some offense clicking, which is nice to see. Toro, Bleday, Rooker, Andujar. And it kind of goes with, I haven't seen the lineup today, but the everyday, we want to see the top 4 be Toro, Bleday, Rooker, Andujar.
That's what it is.
And after that, do whatever the hell you want.
Brownie, McCann, Geloff, Soderstrom, Diaz.
Top 4, your top 4 got to be, and I don't care who's pitching. I don't care if it's Phil Niekro, Joe Niekro, Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson. The Nico brothers did play together in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Toro, Blade, Rooker, and Andujar. Got to be your top 4. They're all playing great.
I was just looking when we look at the Mason Miller. I know it's going to be weird coming from me. You know, Mason Miller doesn't have a career win yet. Could have been his first yesterday if the game would have went a different way. That's just, I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, he's never. I didn't realize he didn't. I forgot he didn't win a game last year. He was 0-3 as a starter.
By the way, what time are we going till today? CJ Nitkowski from the Atlanta Braves.
Around 3:30 is because pregame's at 3:40.
3:30. Maybe I want to save this then. Okay, I'll say that we're going to go over Sean Murphy, the trade, because I got asked yesterday in postgame, and Matt Olson will go over the trade. Where is it now? I would say the Sean Murphy trade, if Ruiz could ever get going with what's now starting to come, may not be as bad as you think.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because this Roy Bear Salinas, they think, can be something.
Yes.
Like if he shows up, Freddie Tarnock.
He's pitching in AAA. It's not great, but I mean, it's AAA. No one pitches.
Well,
great down
he's
there.
recovering, right? Yeah. But Freddie Tarnock, I mean, for Ruiz, that's the thing. It's like, Ruiz, you traded for him. You loved him. Like, why? Why won't you just embrace the kid and say, steal bags and be dynamic? Oh, he's got to, he's a little in on his swing. Okay. But Tyler Nevin hitting 63 for the entire month of May has got to play? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And Sean Murphy has not played.
He just got back like earlier this week. Like I think he came back on the day before Memorial Day.
And he's not even an everyday catcher.
Well, they have Darno still too, right?
And they like Darno a lot. I mean, they've got a wealth of talent.
By the way, in that trade, the best part of that whole trade was the Brewers got the best player in the whole deal. And Contreras. He's having a hell of a year for Milwaukee so far. He's also a catcher. So the Braves gave up Contreras to get Murphy. Signed Murph to the extension. Yeah, he was okay last year. I mean, he's never going to be a high average guy.
I mean, you got to realize, like right now, like when people go, "Oh my God, we got rid of Sean Murphy," and I was always like, "You really want to sign him long term?" Braves did it. Look, the Braves did. Let's see the exact. They have the deal. So right now, Sean Murphy doesn't seem like a lot of money, and it's not. It's going to make $15 million a year, every year up to he's 34 years old, and it's a team option at 34 for $15 million. Sean Murphy's numbers this year in one of the biggest prime years that you have, he's played in 4 games.
He played opening day, got hurt, then he just came back.
4 games.
What is he now? 29.
9.
Oh, wow.
It's 29. 4 games. Like literally, you got probably the best out of him. You got 26 and 27 years of age. They got year 28. I mean, last year was a good year for him, but he didn't play. I mean, he only played in 108 games.
Was he hurt last year too?
Well, he wasn't. I don't know if he went on the IL, but he wasn't They have multiple catchers.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'll try. It was oblique for him this year.
This is going to be a year of not a lot of games for him, and that's year 29. After this, it's year 30, and we all kind of know running backs and catchers what happens when you get the big 3 in your age. Doesn't normally go. Not everybody ages like Carlton Fisk and Pudge Rodriguez.
And I guess before I use anyone right now, the way Salvi's progressing, getting older. I mean, Yachty was pretty decent.
Didn't hit.
He didn't actually start hitting until he got older. He
didn't hit. What was his best year? Come on. You guys and you. He acts like he was the greatest catcher of all. What did he hit?
He's a career 277 hitter.
In today's world, that's incredible.
When he turned 28, he hit 305. Then he hit 315, and then he hit 319. That's when he turned 30.
Keep going.
282, 270.
7 home runs, 4 home runs, 8 home runs.
Then he hit 30. Then he hit 34, 18 home runs.
Wait, 34? Where? He
Right
hit
here.
18.
Yeah, 18. Then
18.
Then he hit 20 the next year.
Okay, then 10, 4. Stop it.
But
You want to go with Carlton Fisk's number when he got older?
I wasn't calling him a power. I'm talking about as a hitter. I was talking about as
Yeah, go to Carlton Fisk's numbers.
We're talking about a Hall of Famer here.
Who?
Fisk.
You guys are all acting like everybody acted like Yachty was the greatest catcher of all time. Go to Carlton Fisk's numbers. Old man Fisk. 37 years old. He's got 37 bombs.
As a White Sox.
Yeah, it's 14 home runs. They made Yachty out to be like he was some super. Do you remember that? However, the conversation about Yachty or Malia?
People loved him because it was Gold Gloves. How many Gold Gloves did he win? Like 9? 9 Gold Gloves.
Does that become like you just get it every year because they just keep voting for the same guy every year?
Well, he's pretty good defensively.
I'm not saying he's not.
I know,
but
yeah,
every single year you just get it. Greg Maddox.
I would say Maddox got how many?
Jim Kitty Cott won how many?
That's a good
the
question.
same guy keeps getting it every year. Salvi Perez is actually carrying he and Bobby Witt. By the way, the Royals and run differential.
16 for Jim Cott.
16. You're trying to tell me 16 different years
No one was
we
better than him.
established that he's the best defending. That's where the gold. I love Gold Gloves, but at some point you're kind of like, do people get lazy on the old voting?
I'm going to lean with the yes. I mean, there's guys that win one every year. And it's like, I don't remember him being that good defensively this year.
Ozzie Smith's the best defensive shortstop I've ever seen. But was he every single year better than everybody else? Because they didn't have defensive metrics back then. And Ozzie Smith came to town a couple times, made some great plays. And, we didn't even have the highlight shows that we have now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they weren't anywhere near close
right?
to down.
That's why it's like whenever we talk about, like, we'll just use a great player from yesteryear who played in this area, Willie Mays. They'll act like Willie Mays never had a bad game. Like Willie Mays, they talk about Willie Mays and the stats, right? I mean, Willie Mays obviously is upper echelon greatest player of all time. But he never had a bad game. Never, the way he ran the base. He never got thrown out. I mean, according to Baseball Reference, he did get thrown out.
Yeah, he had a bunch of I guaranteed he had more than a couple offers.
Yeah, he did actually not get a hit in a game, right?
Because if not, he had
Ted Williams didn't always hit 400.
Yeah, because
he did have some offers.
If they didn't have offers, they'd have the longest hitting streak of all time.
I mean, seriously, the great players, they act like they never did anything bad. Did Willie Mays or give me some bad? Did Stan Musial ever make an error? Yes, they actually did make errors.
What about Babe Ruth?
We just didn't have stat. Yeah, we didn't have. It was from Sports Center now to MLB Network Quick Pitch. We didn't have Babe Ruth highlights. Babe Ruth showed up to the ballpark hungover, probably hadn't slept, and probably had a couple bad games. Oh, the Mick. Remember, what was it? Bob Costas. Oh, the Mick up in heaven now. His legs are healthy and he can run. The guy was hungover every day. You don't think there were games that Mickey Mantle was so hungover he couldn't see the ball?
I'd say probably, yeah.
He was a raging alcoholic. I mean, he's truly one of the great players of all time and had unbelievable numbers, but there were probably times where he was probably hurting going into that game. Humid in the sun, you're hungover. Yeah, they don't show those highlights, do they? Of the old players.
I'm going to go no. Well, they didn't. No, we didn't really. Unless they're playing the radio calls of them.
No, so we're going to have CJ on, and after we'll look back at Matt Olson. We'll look back at Sean Murphy, because I got asked yesterday in the postgame show about that, and it was interesting looking at the guys potentially coming up, especially Sean Murphy and the deal, and also look at the the Murphy deal is a little more complex because it was a 3-team deal. Christian Pache still playing for the Philadelphia Phillies, by the way.
Correct, he is.
So we're bringing CJ on. And it's like we'd be talking about the Rangers and winning the World Series and what's it been like under 500 with Bruce Bochy. But now with the Atlanta Braves, how are you, my friend?
Chris, I'm doing fantastic, man. Great to see you.
Yeah, it's a loud. We've had a lot of loud outs lately. Your partner Spilly was just on the program with the Rockies coming to town. We hadn't seen the Rockies in so long, but how is the transition? Because you were a mainstay in the booth for the Texas Rangers. Now, kind of where you live, kind of back home for you. What's it like the transition to the Braves?
It's been great, man. It's been a pretty big blessing in our life, and how much more time I get to spend at home. Just even using today as an example, otherwise I'd be with the Rangers in Miami right now, or obviously for home games. I was also in Texas all the time, and I was able to catch my son's baseball game today at 10:50 this morning. Got to watch that, go back home, and then go to work, and then get to go sleep in my own bed tonight. So it's really something I hadn't experienced in what is now 31 years in baseball, where I'm actually working where I'm living. So it's been fantastic. Great organization, great people. The transition into the booth has been really smooth, and we're just grateful every single day we get to go to work.
How long have you lived in Atlanta?
18 years. So after I played here in 2004, we moved here about a year and a half later. We were always interested in the area, and we got a little bit of a free taste and a trial run for the half a season that I spent here as a player, and really liked it. And so we decided at some point we thought maybe we would eventually move to Texas, but the kids were settled in and everybody was happy. And so I just bit the bullet, and I was on the road for probably about 135 days a year, and really not every year, because a half a year, cramming it into the baseball season, and came to that realization, man, that I was essentially on the road a full year. Every 3 years I was gone.
Yeah, and we've been talking a lot about mental health this month with Major League Baseball, and something that we don't think about. And we know as you get to know the players, you get to know whether it's the manager, people in the front office, people that you work with. You don't always know what's going on in people's personal lives and the struggles that they may be having. And when you think about mental health and when things are going good, people perform better. And just think about your situation, better for your mental health, being on the road constantly, being away from your family, not being able to be there for those special moments with your kids, because it's only going to happen once in your life. I can see how this is just not only huge for you, huge for your family, huge for everybody in your ecosystem.
Yeah, it's been great. I've been joking about it a little bit with my wife. Check in June, see how she's doing with me being home a lot more than I had been. She's been with me. We've been together since college. So she's kind of used to some of that downtime that she gets to herself, which she still gets when I'm on the road. But it has been a lot better, as you get older and you start thinking about different things in life and the realization of how short life really is. That has only increased our appreciation for this opportunity here in Atlanta.
All right, the Atlanta Braves, interesting. I mean, obviously Acuna going down, it's devastating again. I guess in the back of your mind, you could say, well, won the World Series without him last time, had to make a lot of moves. We reminded people that Jorge Soler was the World Series MVP. Now, obviously, here in the Bay Area with the San Francisco Giants. But just talk about around the Braves people when he goes down. What was it like?
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It wasn't fun to watch at all in Pittsburgh, and it looked really significant at the time. Even when he missed some time in spring training with the knee issue, there was some real concern, right? I mean, you're talking about the reigning MVP coming off this really historic season, and to lose him at the top of the lineup is devastating. And then there's the part for him that you just feel terrible about, because this guy loves playing baseball more than anything else. You can tell. He wants to be out there all the time. It's why he plays as much winter ball as he plays. He just flat out loves the game. He wasn't having his best year, but nobody was really concerned. It looked like he was starting to come out of it a little bit. That last at bat, he had put a really nice swing on a pitch that he drove for a double to get him to second base. And you could kind of start to see those signs that he was about to snap out of it. And so in the meantime, now for the Braves, they'll have multiple guys in that leadoff spot. Essentially, if there's a lefty on the mound, we will see Ozzie Albies in the leadoff spot. If there's a righty on the mound, then it'll be Michael Harris. There is no replacing Ronald Acuna Jr. and everything that he brings to the table with the bat and the glove and the speed. But they'll just try to piece it together the best they can.
And then you throw Strider in there. Like a lot of people have forgotten. We've gotten so used to guys going down now with Tommy John. You forget Strider going out. I mean, it's like these are like back-to-back just whammies.
Yeah, it was bad news, certainly, when they got that one, of course, coming off the great year. And there was some conversation about could he and Max Fried be top of the rotation guys in the National League and really be competing for that Cy Young potentially with each other. And so that was really bad news. There's no two ways about it for a guy that is so in tune with everything that he does and takes incredible care of himself. It was a bit of treat around him a little bit here early on and just listening to him talk pitching and kind of watch how he does his thing. And so he is out for the year, but other guys have stepped up, and that's always what it takes. It's always the conversation that we have. The guy going tonight, Ronaldo Lopez, it's been a really great story here in Atlanta. He wanted to start after being a reliever for the last few seasons, and it's worked out great. He's been really, really good. Chris Sale, trading for him last year. Everyone kind of wondering, okay, yeah, he finished the season strong, but he wasn't getting particularly deep in games. And my own opinion was you're hoping to get a 5-inning pitcher out of Chris Sale, and he has been significantly better than that. He'll very likely win the National League Pitcher of the Month. He has been that dominant right now in a Braves uniform. So those guys have stepped up. You know, Charlie Morton kind of continues to do his thing at 40 years old. And then Max Fried has been on a real nice run as well. He's coming off a really strong month of May. So they have rallied around the loss of Spencer Strider. They've gotten better. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do in that fifth spot. They've had a handful of different pitchers get opportunities. That is still not settled, but they're working through it. And there is definitely opportunities here for a young pitcher to kind of take control of it the way Bryce Elder did a year ago. You know, Max Fried went down last year early. Bryce Elder did not make the team. He ended up being an all-star. He had such a tremendous first half. And so that opportunity is sitting out there right now for a young Braves pitcher.
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and we got a long way to go, obviously. But we have watched the last few years, Braves win the division, and here comes the Phillies as they come in as the wild card. They're obviously a power puncher, and they can knock you out, and we know what's happened. We can have a role reversal this year. What if the Phillies stay hot, win the division? Now the Braves go in, hopefully go into the postseason. They don't have those lofty expectations. And now they can be the wild card power puncher. I don't know if it'll play out that way, but it could be a role reversal what we've seen the past couple of years.
It's certainly possible. The Phillies are really good, and their starting pitching has been incredible. I know they struggled here a little bit lately, but that is a really good team. We saw them early, but they've gotten significantly better and playing really good baseball since then. I don't think anybody around here is thinking, okay, let's just win the wild card. Let's just get into the postseason. You'll continue to strive to be the best team that you can be and to win a division, but you cannot control what your opponent is doing. The year they won the World Series, they won 88 games. The last 2 years, they won 104 and 101 and got knocked out in the first round. So there definitely is something to that, but it never really becomes a goal to just kind of get in somewhere as a wild card. But with that being said, I think it's a really fair point, especially against some of those pitchers that I've talked about. And you got to get through the whole season. And that is a fair question regarding Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez in particular, and even Max Fried for that sake, because he has had injury issues as well. But the idea of those guys being healthy and going into a postseason, there's going to be a lot of confidence, no two ways about it. And so that it could play out that way. We have a long way to go. You know, if I learned anything last year, tracking the Rangers and covering them and seeing how that postseason went, you just never know. I mean, they absolutely limped into the postseason. They had a terrible last series of the year, lost the division on the last day of the season, and went on an unbelievable tear. They did not lose a game on the road. They ended up winning it all. The American League Championship Series was just absolutely epic against the Houston Astros. And so it's just a matter of getting in and getting hot. But we're so far away from that right now. I think the Braves, the focus is still to be the best team in the National League East.
Yeah, everybody forgets you lose in Seattle. You got that long flight. You got to take all the way to Tampa with a major bad taste in your mouth. And you're thinking, man, you got to go play the Rays. Rays probably beat the Rangers, move on. And just to think about where the Rangers were at the very end of the season, boarding a charter they do not want to get on, because we all know when you're in the Pacific Northwest, it's going to be the longest flight. And then in the end, you're all getting World Series rings. What a wild run that was for Bruce Bochy and the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, it really was. And, you know, a couple things, I kind of mentioned some of those things that, you know, I learned from watching that happen, but you'll never hear me use the phrase, you need momentum going into the postseason, because they had absolutely none. I just don't believe it. Sure, you want to be healthy and you want things to be going on all cylinders, but I'm not going to buy that you need momentum. They dropped 3 or 4 to Seattle, including getting shut out 1-0 on the last day of the season. They still had a chance to win the division until that day, and thinking that would be ideal, right? Because then you're going to get the time off, get those 5 days off. The Braves had it. What we see, 3 of the 4 division winners that had the extra time off didn't advance. right? And so that's something that the Houston Astros are the only team that did. And again, I don't think anybody is saying, okay, just win a wild card because that's the better position to be in. But it's not the end of the world when you don't win a division. We've seen a lot of wild cards go on to either make it to the World Series or win the entire thing. It is just about getting there. But like I said, you don't think about that until the postseason actually starts.
Yeah, you throw in the D-backs. They got swept at home against the Astros, only won 84 games. You think they're going to get crushed, and they roll to the World Series.
Yeah, that's right. It's crazy. I mean, I thought the Phillies for sure were going to be able to take them out, and they didn't. And so there's a couple of things, too, that I think would also stick out regarding that. It's that, having star players, having impactful players, having a deep enough lineup and pitching staff, for that matter, that you can't pitch around guys, right? I mean, the lineup ran deep in Texas last year. It runs deep here in Atlanta. And it wasn't as if you could identify one or two that you just try to avoid and be careful with and then go after the rest. I think really making sure that you have somewhat of a loaded lineup and a deep enough rotation. And then who's going to be the guy that steps up, right? I mean, for the Rangers last year was Jordan Montgomery in that rotation. Didn't pitch as well in the World Series as he did leading up to it, but he was such a huge, important piece that they acquired at the deadline. Making meaningful starts. It was big, with Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom going down. The Rangers still dealing with some of those injury issues here this year. Somebody had to step in. And the other part of that was Jose Leclerc and Josh Sborz. Right? That bullpen was in really bad shape for a while. And then those guys just got hot at the very right time, went on the runs that were necessary. And Sborz is having a hard time staying healthy this year. Leclerc hasn't been able to find that same form. I would have told you that with Jose Leclerc probably sometime in June, that the option that he had on his contract, there was zero chance that was going to be exercised. I believe it was like a $4 or $5 million option. That's just how bad he was pitching. And then he turns into a postseason hero, and it was a no-brainer that you would exercise that option. That's how quickly things can change, and that's why I don't believe anything until you actually get out there and play the games.
Well, you never know how good a partner is going to be for you. We can think, I'm going to like this guy, and he's going to like me, and ends up being a dud for a show. But you and Spilly have come together great with Loud Outs. We just had him on the program, obviously, when the Rockies were in town. Off the air, we were talking about the dynamic between you two, how it works so well. So we always promote SiriusXM on the show because the guys are always so good to us, Channel 89. And Loud Outs is a great show, 2X players. How is doing it now with you're consistently in the Eastern time zone? Better, worse? How's everything going with the show?
The show's great. It's just, unfortunately, because I am on the East Coast, I'm a little bit more limited because we do end at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So when I was doing it in Dallas or anywhere west of Dallas, I had more time, right? That show would be over at 4 o'clock locally. And if we had a 7 o'clock game, that gave me 3 hours. If there's games and there's a handful on the East Coast where they have 6:40 starts, I can't do it, right? It's just too close to game time. So I'm making sure I get at least a couple in a week. I try to shoot for 3, a minimum of 2 if I can, unless I just have a really bad trip. Like we're going to Washington and Baltimore after the Red Sox on this next road trip. It's going to make it a little bit of a challenge. I have off a couple of those days, so I'll get radio in. But I love doing the show. I love working with Spilly. We're opposite just enough, which I really appreciate. He'll push me. I push him a little bit, but he makes me think. He challenges me in the way that he goes about things. He's so creative. He's so smart. I love running stuff by him, especially on the offensive side, the outfield side. I feel like I'm always learning something when I'm working with him, and I'm always entertained, and we're always laughing a lot. So I feel very fortunate to have him as a partner. It was a really good idea by Jordan Greenberg, our executive producer, to put us together probably, I guess it's maybe 6 or 7 years ago now that we used to do the weekend show, and now we get to do it most days during the week. He has his Apple game, so that makes it tough for us to get together on Fridays during the regular season. That doesn't really happen. But it's a great time, and I love doing it, and I wish we could do it every single day.
Yeah, Colorado Rockies better ink him up. Man, with all the national stuff he's doing, they better get a contract with him, or he won't be doing their broadcast forever, because he's been doing play-by-play now. It's been a very interesting. I want to throw this by because people are really now trying to figure out how to save starting pitching, because in every sport, the guy that's got the ball is a star, right? Quarterback, point guard, even in hockey, the center, who's ever the guy that's facilitating everything. And now we're just decreasing out baseball. Bad for business. We're the entertainment business. So this idea of linking the starting pitcher to the DH, you like it? What do you think about this idea to try and keep starters in games longer?
I hate it. I really hate it, because the idea of tying that to a strategy that might help you win the game and making decisions that is not best for your pitcher I don't like. Managers being tempted and concerned. Well, I've got my DH is batting third. I can't take him out here. I hate that idea. I like what we've done to keep the game moving along. Teams, are doing the best they possibly can to try to keep guys healthy. It's a real challenge, obviously, and a real problem for everybody around the league. And I don't know if we're ever really going to find a solution. It just feels like one of those things where there are a lot of good ideas that are floating out there, but none of them solve the actual problem because we don't know how to solve the problem. Everyone's kind of putting their best guess forward, even with some science behind it, some history behind it. It still doesn't matter, right? We went through that period where there were a lot of organizations in the minor leagues that wouldn't let their top picks pitch after the draft and ease them along, keep the pitch counts down, and then guys were still getting hurt. And then you'd have the other side arguing, saying the older school guys, well, it's because you're not throwing enough. You got to be throwing more, and that's part of the problem. And I don't doubt that there's some truth to both sides of that, but you're not going to get consistent results. There's nothing that's going to happen that's going to make arm injuries go away. Just not. A lot of it is what happens well before guys ever get into a professional organization. I was having this conversation today at my son's game with a dad about it, and just looking at the different things that happen, how much we play, first of all, when you're younger. But, these arm injuries are not just boom, they just pop up out of nowhere. It's over time, things that happen in the starting, the breakdown of ligaments and tendons and ultimately leading to an injury. So it could be, the kid that is both pitching and catching, or the kid that's throwing too many pitches in a game, or he's not getting enough rest in between, or he's thrown, 35, 40 pitches in an inning where most of your youth coaches, they're not even thinking about that. They might be thinking about the big picture number. Hey, I'm going to keep him under 75 today. Well, you're going to let him throw 40 in an inning because you're not going to let a big league pitcher do that. It's rare that you see a big league pitcher get to that number. So there are things that I've seen now over the years, having an older son at 24, now my 16-year-old, and watching them both go through it, that the mistakes that we make at the amateur levels that probably lead to a lot of this. I get it. Most of those guys aren't even going to play in college, forget about professionally or the big leagues, but it's that same group of guys that eventually end up getting hurt because there's just so much going on. I felt very lucky, because I grew up in the Northeast. I played Little League until I was probably 15 years old. There was not much else. We might have played 10, 12 games in the summer. When I became a decent high school pitcher, there was more there. I didn't get hurt until I was 36 years old. And it was a shoulder thing. And that's because I tried to be a starter again in Korea after I hadn't started in like a decade. And probably made some sense that eventually I broke down. When I saw Dr. Andrews when I got home that winter, he says, man, I can't believe I haven't seen you yet. Right. And so I go the first, from age 21 to 36 with 0 injuries. I'm not saying it's going to work like that all the time. Again, nothing's guaranteed, but I know that I was not playing a lot of baseball as an amateur, and I loved it. And I grew up in a cold weather city. There really wasn't fall ball. We just did our summer stuff, play your school ball, your summer ball, and that was it. And then we go play basketball or flag football or whatever. And I wasn't any kind of great athlete, but I think those things contributed a lot to me staying healthy and not trying to rush the process and throwing too much when I was younger.
It's a really good point. I wasn't thinking about that because the one thing I started with thinking about is, and we actually talked about this with Spilly, is about the rhythm of a pitcher and a hitter. You see a guy now a third time. Forget the numbers. We know the numbers are better, but it's like all of a sudden there's that chess match, third time through the order, fourth time through the order. Now we're bringing in nameless, faceless reliever throwing 100. Well, we now start to get more balls in play. And I was just thinking about that, but then, like you said, I wasn't even thinking about the injury part. You're left-handed, right-handed, all through before I ever pitched in college. All I ever did was throw because I was right-handed. I pitched. I played shortstop. I was the quarterback. You didn't play short, or you didn't probably catch being left-handed. Right-handed pitchers, if you have a good arm and you're a kid growing up right-handed, you're always going to be in spots where you're constantly throwing.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And I tell you, I ran into an incident, and it wasn't the first time. So my son just started his baseball this past weekend. Their summer stuff. And he's got a pretty good arm, and he does play shortstop for his club, and they're very competitive. And they ran into a situation where they brought in a guy to close the game out, and he got in trouble. The game looked like they had in hand. And all of a sudden, he had to come out of the game because he was walking guys, and just things were not going his way. My son came directly from shortstop to the mound, right, without ever warming up in the bullpen. He's 16 years old. These kids are throwing mid to upper 80s, some of them even harder now. It's crazy. And he's really skinny. And I'm out here always trying to protect his arm. And I was listening to the game on Game Changer, and I've already talked to his coach about it, and I don't mind sharing it, but I told him later, I waited like a few days. I'm not a believer in don't talk to the coach that night or even the next day. Let's just let some time go by. And I said, hey, man, he can't come straight from shortstop pitching in a game. He entered the game as a tie game with the bases loaded, right? So he's out there where at East Cobb, and he's giving it everything he has, right? Because he knows the cameras and everything else is on him, and he wants to show out in that spot. Well, he's not properly prepared to be in that game at that moment. And so those things concern me as well. It's happened plenty of times. I say plenty. I've said something every single time I see it happen. But we got to make sure we're taking care of these arms. You cannot come straight from the field onto the mound, especially as these kids are getting older. I mean, really any time, but especially as you're older and your arms are getting stronger, and then just start firing balls in a game and get like 5 ups like that. To me, that is just a recipe for disaster. And I told my son, I was like, that will never happen again. I'll never embarrass you, but God forbid someone tries to do that again. I'm going to come get you and you and I are getting in the car. Like, I got to take care of my kid if nobody else is going to do it. He's got a great coach, and I love him. I think it was just a moment that got caught up in being competitive and trying to finish off a game, and they were in a jam. But as a parent, you have to be proactive. I know it's hard. Obviously, I played, so I have a lot of information, and I know what I like. But I'm telling you, you do the best you can, because some of these coaches are really well-intentioned, but they don't know always what they're doing or how to best protect arms. Check out the MLB Pitch Smart app. There's really good guidelines in there. And I would check with your coach and make sure that he has a clue and that he's following those. Because Dr. Andrews and his group at MLB have done a really good job helping provide some guidelines for parents so that they would understand. And they talk about it all, but check out that MLB Pitch Smart app, or just check out the website, and don't let your child go straight from the field to the mound.
All right. You know what? We'll let you go. We know you got to get ready for the game. We're happy for you. We're happy for the fact that you're at home. Way better for your family life, but we're going to miss seeing you all the time.
I appreciate it, brother. I know you're right. And I miss being in person on the field. And I've come to a realization that I will never be at the Coliseum again, it seems like. And so I know we're all working through that together. But the way you guys are always set up there by the dugout, and obviously with Oakland coming here this year, and assuming the Braves will be coming to the A's next year, but it sounds like that's not going to be in Oakland. So it's a chapter that is closing, but we'll always stay in touch, and always happy to come on with you.
Great stuff. We always appreciate it. We'll always be promoting you guys. The show is fantastic between you and Spilly, and hopefully we'll talk later in the season. You be well.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always great having CJ on. Good dude, great broadcaster, pitched many, many years. Their show, Loud Outs, he and Ryan Spielborg's. It's a really good show. I didn't realize he's not going to be able to do. I've noticed he's not there as much. I didn't realize it was because of the time zone. I didn't think about that because we're West Coast people. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I've thought about that too when I texted him about coming on. I'm like, oh, he might be on the radio still because his show's on. It starts at 11 our time, so that's 2 for him. It's over at 5. Then he's like, oh, I can do it at 5:30 Eastern. And I'm like,
it's like dealing with Kotze when it's like, well, what time is he got? He's got to get there at what time? And oh my, what was the one day we got up like at 7 a.m. to do the manager show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's rough.
I mean, thank God that we're not, going to play in Korea or something or Japan.
I'm not a morning guy. I'm just going to admit it. I'm not a morning guy. I have a night job. I don't work. I mean, like the next couple days will be 1 o'clock start, 10 a.m. I mean, Sunday morning, I'll be on the air at like 9:15. But tonight, who knows? I'm on till like 9 something. That's like people like, you drink coffee at night? I'm like, yeah, bozo. That's when I work. It's when I perform, man. I'm a performer. I'm on at night. I'm not on during the day normally.
With CJ, it's interesting. I was looking at the best players to play for both the A's and the Braves, and CJ never played for us, so we can't, unfortunately, put him on that list.
Are you really going to go with that dumb list? What do you got? Best, I'm going to say off the top of my head, best Brave A, I would go Tim Hudson.
Modern time, yeah.
Modern time, there's not. With like Jimmy Fox didn't play for the Boston Braves.
There's Hall of Famer Al Simmons, who played 1 year with the Braves and 12 with the Philadelphia A's.
Okay, obviously Al was better than Hudson, but Hudson performed.
So I said recent,
both.
Modern.
No, but Hudson did both.
Yeah.
You can't show up for a year and then you're like the great. No, that doesn't count. No.
You're not going to
give me a better.
You're not going to count Josh Donaldson. He was good that 1 year in Atlanta.
No, you got to be good for both teams. You just can't be like Mike Piazza, Dodger A. Like, but you gotta. Yeah. Okay, who's better? You gonna throw Willie McCovey in because he giant A? No,
no. I mean, there's some guys that are like they're on the list. I wouldn't say they're. I mean,
they're on the list, but the best.
Yeah,
Tim Hudson.
It's Tim Hudson. Yeah,
was really, really good for both.
Some guys that are on there. David Justice is on there.
Old man.
Old Man Justice. Yeah.
Let's say Old Man Justice.
Felipe Lou.
Wait. Old Man Justice was pretty good for the A's. What were his numbers for the A's?
He played 118 games, hit 266, and he had 11 home runs and a 1.6 WAR.
All right.
Let's see. Ron Gant, who we mentioned. Dusty
Ronnie
Baker.
Gant wasn't great as an A, but Ronnie Gant was a really good Brave.
Dusty Baker.
Yeah.
That'd be the great Kurt Suzuki.
What did Zook do for the Braves?
In his career there, he was a 276 hitter with 31 home runs.
That's a pretty good one. Kurt Suzuki, good career with the Braves and the A's.
How can I forget the great
all-time great guy?
How can I forget A's great Orlando Cepeda?
Okay, what did he do?
He played.
Where were the Braves at that time when Cepeda played for the Braves?
That was 69-72. Was that still Milwaukee then?
They Milwaukee?
Yeah, so he would have been playing with Henry Aaron, right? 69, yeah. He played here 69 to 72.
Can you imagine if you've got to play with Henry Aaron? How incredible would that be?
Yeah.
Like any of those guys, like you got to play with Ted Williams or Henry Aaron or
Walter White, not Breaking Bad. Walter Weiss. Walt Weiss, the Braves bench coach.
He was a pretty good Brave.
Yeah.
Right?
99 to 2000, 98 to 2000. 257 career, 257 hitter there.
Of course, Rookie of the Year, world champion with the A's. All right.
That's I was looking at the Braves. Now I'll go. That was Braves War Weiss. The A's. Swisher-lish, Nick Swisher. There's
Nick Swisher was a Brave?
Kotze,
of course, was a Brave.
Voter.
Did Kotze get DFA'd from the Braves?
He only played there 1 year. He played in 88 games.
Was that Boston?
Might have been Boston. He played 88 games. Didn't Billy trade him to Atlanta?
I don't know.
The great Louis Polonia.
Oh, God. Don't even go there.
Blue Moon Odom. He played 1 year with the Braves in 1975.
Did not know that. I was 3 years old.
Jermaine Dye.
Our
good friend Robbie Grossman.
Good guy.
Johnny Gomes.
Great human being.
And Tito Francona.
Future Hall of I talked to a future Hall of Fame manager in Tito Francona.
A guy you really liked when he came to the A's. Tommy LaStella.
Love Tommy LaStella. He makes contact.
Those are position players, and then pitchers, obviously, we know. Oh, I can think of one right now. Barty. Wasn't Bartolo Colon is on there.
Bartolo Colon was a Brave. When was that?
2017.
Wow.
His ERA, 8.14.
I don't remember that.
So there's this, and then obviously
Trevor Cahill played for the Braves?
He did, yes.
I'm trying to think.
Brandon McCarthy.
Braves. Brandon McCarthy.
There's a current one now, Alex Wood. Oh, and Sean Newcomb, both Braves. I'm just looking at guys that are on the team now.
We have to go, the A's and their veteran starting pitching on the IL has been a problem.
Jim Johnson.
Oh, God. Worst A Brave of all time. Jim Johnson?
I would go with yes. Jay Howe was one. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so there's just some guys.
Not a lot of notables.
No, Tim Hudson obviously is the biggest name for pitching.
I think Tim Hudson's the biggest A Brave of all time.
I would go, yeah, I think you're on to something there. Edwin Jackson, he has a count. He played it for every team. So yeah, there you go. Ben Sheets.
Jim Johnson, Ben Sheets.
Yeah, Billy Butler was never a Brave, was he?
I know. What about the guy who was the total? Danny Valencia ever a Brave?
I was gonna look. Hold on.
Was Danny Valencia ever in the Braves system?
Danny Valencia was never a Brave.
Oh, because that would have been biggest ass. That was an A and a Brave. Danny Valencia, hands down, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, by the way, while we had CJ on, there was some news pitching wise. Major League Baseball. The great John Means, who the no-hitter for the Orioles a few years ago.
Tommy John.
Came back. He's having UCL surgeries. They didn't say it was Tommy John or not. He just came back from Tommy John.
Yeah. I remember his wife.
Tyler Wells is another one, too.
His wife, I was listening on Sears XM on the way to the ballpark, and his wife, because he's like the longest tenured guy.
Yeah, he's been with the Orioles he's been there for at least 5 years.
And his wife was on their broadcast and talking about things that they're doing in the community and everything, and how great it was.
7 years.
How great her husband's back and everything, and already hurt. Man, that's got to be devastating for the family.
He hasn't pitched in more than 20 games since 2021.
Isn't it funny how far away from COVID in those 2 years, 2021, we're getting away from? Because a lot of people, we were still kind of doing COVID protocols, and we're starting to really get away from that. My kids graduating for high school, their freshman year was COVID.
Yeah, we're 4 years past that now.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think.
I mean, you had people that lost their high school graduations, and now because of the protests, lost their college graduations.
Yeah.
They never got at. So I remember seeing this kid. I can't remember what school he was at. It was somewhere in California where he's like, I didn't have a high school graduation, and now I'm not getting a college graduation. Can't remember what school. Might have been USC.
I would say there was one. They just had some kind of something just happened at UC Santa Cruz.
Oh, they arrested.
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna get into the Murph trade.
Coming up next, Sean Murphy, Matt Olson. I've had people call A's postgame show and say, do not trade Brent Rooker to Atlanta because the deals don't work out well. Well, there's something to be said for that. Well, they have a former A now. They're fine.
They have several former A's.
No, they got a former A now. They're fine.
Oh, Ramon, yeah.
They got Ramon Laureano, the laser.
Yeah. There's plenty of Jesse Chavez is back there, another former A.
Jesse Chavez, God bless that man.
He did a thing that was pretty good. He did a thing on he named every team he played for. It was a video that they did.
Jesse Chavez is literally the living American dream in some ways. He's still pitching. He's got his classic car collection. He's lived in the same house forever. Has never changed as a dude. I mean, what a story he is. He's what, 38, 39?
Yeah. I remember.
Is he 40 yet? Wait, I want to say Jesse Chavez, I'm going to say at youngest 37, probably 38.
40.
40. Wow. 40 years old, still pitching.
Who
would have thought? What year did he start?
He started in 2008 as a Pirate.
2008. Who would have thought in 2008, this guy who doesn't blow you away, doesn't have the best stuff, who would have said, you know what, that guy on the mound today for the Pirates win 2008?
Yeah.
Who do you think predicted, this guy's going to pitch till he's 40? How much money he's made? How much money has he made?
Let's see. He didn't become a starter until he came to Oakland.
Well, he wasn't really a starter. He got forced into being a starter.
So I have to scroll through so much because he's played for so long. He's made $25 million.
God bless him. Who would have thought?
He's 2 strikeouts away from career strikeout number 1,000.
How many years was he with the A's?
He was an A for 4 years.
4 years. How many teams did he play for?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9 teams. What a blessed career. 40 years old on a good team. Still pitching in games that matter.
He's appeared in 18 games and has a 1.52 ERA.
God bless
40
you, my
years
friend.
old.
We salute you. Coming up next, A's and Braves trades. We'll talk about it right here on A's Cast Live.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Visit your local hobby shop, retailers, and Topps.com to collect the first product of the season, Topps Baseball Series 1. Follow @Topps on social media to join the conversation and start sharing your collection today.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
Ever wondered what a 30-foot tall pistachio looks like? A giant redwood or Big Sur? Chevron with Techron will be there to help you see them and tons of other places you have to see to believe. Because with unbeatable mileage and a clean engine, cars feel great. So next time you want to fill up on a little adventure, an awkward family photo, or a new commute to work, make sure to fill up at Chevron's along the way. Your car and your memories will thank you. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
Introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest internet plans yet. Now existing customers could get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost, and it's all from Comcast Business.
Get started with internet and security for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying internet package. In 6/23/24, restrictions apply. New customers only with 150 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBell and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Up to 3 times downloads for existing essential and standard internet customers.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try the world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdogs Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, 3-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Can you believe it's June tomorrow?
Seems like the last few months have gone by very, very quickly. But yeah, it's wild. It's already going to be June. We've been through, this will be the 4th month of baseball for us already. Remember, because we played how many games in March? Like 4.
Goes by quick. Then June will fly by, and then we're going to be at the all. I mean, of course, you're taking vacation again.
I think we all are. It's like the first time we're all
grinding through the All-Star break. No days off, as Bill Belichick said. No doubt. Did I not work on the day my kids graduated from high school?
You did, yes.
Hey, everybody else takes all this time off. Not me. I'm here to grind it. Ray Fosse always said, sleep in the off season.
Well, we work then too.
No, that's right. We do too. Kind of like the A's tonight from a gambling standpoint. We told you we don't gamble, but we can help you. Because this is what, you want to think the StatCast stuff is where everybody's going. No one cares. You know who's going to use all the StatCast stuff? Writers, media,
broadcasters.
The average fan is not going to be grinding the StatCast stuff. People are going to do stuff. Oh, look at this and look at that. Do you watch? When's the last time you really cared about the StatCast stuff? And you are a baseball nerd.
I only ever look at the pitch stuff, the pitch tracking stuff. I don't look at the bad stuff.
How about the defensive stuff?
I go to one website and I look at DRS, defensive run save.
You mean you don't go to StatCast to see how far a guy goes and the route he took and all that? You don't do that?
Outs above average and
no, you're playing video games watching wrestling. That's my point.
Exactly.
Yes. Everybody has no one's sitting around grinding this information that's just flat out who cares? I got other stuff going on, right? I got my kids graduating from high school. I've had family here. I don't care the route that the guy took or how hard he threw it from because people got lives. We want to sit back and enjoy and watch the games. And one of the things that people like to do, we know it's true, it's tried, and it works. It's gambling. People like gambling. So Uncle Towny's here. Joe in Monterey. I'm helping people make. Joe in Monterey's been winning. He listens to the show. He makes bets and he wins. Sent me a Toby Keith Oklahoma Sooner shirt. Did I show you that yet?
No.
It's awesome. Because he was a big Oklahoma guy. You know who Toby Keith is?
Yeah,
the country star
yes.
who passed away. Yeah, I guess he's sending me a 10-cent beer night from Cleveland shirt he found.
I heard you talking about that yesterday.
How do you think that ended up? 10-cent beer night.
In Cleveland? Sure was great. Rip roaring time.
I like tonight's game for the Athletics. You want to know why?
Searsy?
Yeah. Plus 195, and I got Searsy. Does Sears have a nickname? And am I just making it up?
Let's check Old Baseball Reference. There you go. So they usually have nicknames.
I mean, what else would it be? Sears and Roebuck?
Let's see here. No, nothing listed on here.
All right, we're going.
Or maybe JP is his nickname because his real name is John Patrick Sears.
Oh, he's not John Paul.
No.
He's John Patrick.
Yeah, John Patrick.
I would always have loved to have JT. JP, CJ, who we just had on, probably Christopher John,
DJ, probably other ones.
I like those though. Right? I'm CJ,
TJ. We have one on the A's.
TJ McFarland. How you doing?
I wonder what his real name is.
I mean, you're at the bar and you're meeting a nice young lady. How you doing? I'm TJ.
TJ, but what is he real quick?
Versus I'm Cody.
TJ McFarland's name is Timothy John.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I could
Timothy John. Nice. TJ.
I could go by CJ too. It's Cody James.
No, you're like Cody. You're like a boy band guy. I'm Cody.
Well, I don't talk to people at bars.
I'm Cody. I have a peanut allergy.
How did you know? How did you know that?
I'm Tanner.
I really don't have a peanut allergy, but
I remember when we were looking to name our dog, and my wife had all these like the new kids' names. I'm like, I can't have my dog. I live across the street from a park, right? So I can't have my dog out there, and I'm yelling Tanner to my dog. Tanner can't hit. Tanner can't play defense, and Tanner's got a peanut allergy. She had some other names that were just such the new names that everybody has.
Well, I remember
nobody's just Mike.
I know.
Nobody's John. No one's Mike. No one's Chris. Everybody's got to have. What are these names these kids have now?
Well, so when our friend, our old colleague Joe Fortenbaugh was having his second kid, I said, "Hey,
Joe's a good name."
I was like, "Hey, you know,
Joe. He's Joe. You can rely on Joe."
I was like, "Hey, you know, what's a popular name you could go with, or his name you go with?" I was like, "Why don't you go with Wyatt?" And he named his second kid. He goes, "That's one of the names we're considering." He goes, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "Because I looked up what the most popular baby names are of this year, and of course, he picked one of the most popular baby names."
Dutton. Oh my God, some of these names out there are just unbelievable.
Maddox, isn't that one?
Maddox, I thought was for girls. Isn't that for girls?
I don't know. There's a lot of ones that you can use. A lot of names anymore are gender neutral.
Oh my God, naming your kid Royal. If you name your kid Royal, he's getting hit. I'm telling you, it's not good. I'm trying to think. Tanner was one of them. What are the other names? There's just these boy names where you just go, that kid's going to be soft. He's going to be soft.
Liam, these are the ones now. Liam, Noah, Oliver.
No problem with those.
James, Elijah, Mateo.
James is Jim, so I'm okay with
Are we going
Jim.
back to the days where Theodore Roosevelt was in the office and
Theo?
Henry?
I
and
like
Henry?
Theo. I like Theo. Theodore, it's a classical name.
This is from Good Housekeeping. Top 1,000 baby boy names. I went through most of them. Lucas and William are
Fine
9
with
and
that.
10.
Those are traditional.
Yeah.
They're not
Trendy boy names. Chosen.
Keep going down.
Aiden. You saw those? All right. I don't know. Rhodes.
I forget. I had a whole list of them that my wife.
Well, you were looking at the same list, I think.
My wife. I'm like
Finn.
Those are. I mean, that's the kid that's soft. I can't be out at the park yelling Tanner. I mean, Tanner to me. And if your name's Tanner, I totally apologize. It's a joke.
Sebastian.
No, you just the little league names. You go out and you hear these kids' names. And
Luca.
You just go, this kid's not going to be able to hit. And I think a lot of you out there understand. I wish we could interact. This would be a segment that would be great to interact with the fan base.
What about Maverick? That's a good name.
That's too much of Top Gun for me. Who's Maverick? There are some Mavericks out there, right?
I went to a kid in high school. His name is Maverick.
Maverick, but just call me Mav.
Yeah. Call me Mavi.
All right. From a gambling standpoint, I like Searsy tonight. Why? Because when he's on a heater, you got to ride him. JP Sears allowed one earned run in 6 innings against the Astros on Saturday when the Astros were red hot. Astros have cooled off, by the way. Your Mariners cooled them off. You're getting one of two guys with Searsy. You're getting one of two guys. You're getting he's going to get ripped or he's shutting you out. He has allowed 4 runs or more in 5 starts. Bad Sears over here. On the other side, he's allowed 0 or runs allowed in 6 of the outings over here. So 5 over here, 6 over here. So basically almost half and half, you're getting one of two guys. When you get good Sears, he's dominant. A la in Texas, almost, he's got the no-hitter going. What you saw against the Astros. I think he's on a heater tonight. As CJ Nitkowski told you, Lopez is now he's now converted. But the one thing I like going into this one is the word pushed back.
Yeah.
Out of routine. I'll read the notes for you. The Braves pushed back Ronaldo Lopez from his scheduled start on Thursday to give him extra rest. Lopez allowed 3 runs, 2 earned, and 4 2/3 innings against that vaunted Pirates offense, taking the loss 4-1. A rain delay in the 5th forced Lopez out of the game. So he's been pushed back, out of routine, had extra time. Sears is hot. A's should be angry. They should be. What are you tonight if you're the Oakland Athletics? You just lost 2 games. At some point, you got to get pissed. You lost 2 games. You feel you should have won those 2 games. You feel you should walk out of Tampa with a sweep. Now the Braves were lackluster last night. What was it? 3-1 against the Nats, I believe it was. Watching the highlights last night. Normally when I'm sitting out back, so I watch the highlights, I talk about it. I watch the highlights every night. When it's a team the A's are going to play, I really pay attention. And I was paying attention. They played like crap. They scored 3 runs against the Nats last night.
I think they lost 3 or 4 to them, right? Something like that.
Well, they've lost 10 of 15. They're not playing good baseball. You got your best guy. This is our best guy. You want to talk about a team's best guy, JP Sears. You bet JP Sears tonight in the Athletics. You got guys that are hot. It's going to be warm outside. Balls are flying. What's the one thing we do?
Hit home runs.
Only the Yankees and the Dodgers have more home runs than the A's this month. Home runs, JP Sears bet A's tonight. That's a gift from old Uncle Towny.
Sears is looking to do something he didn't do until September of last
I'm just
year.
looking at ESPN because ESPN's now the king of gambling. Plus 195 tonight. I take the A's and JP Sears.
He's looking to win his 5th game. He didn't do that last year until September.
Hey, how much time we got?
10 minutes.
All right, 10 minutes. Quickly, let's go over it. Matt Olson hated this trade. Hated this trade.
I remember what happened. We were here.
Oh, my God, I hated this trade. Matt Olson was my favorite. I wanted Olson. Much as I like Simeon, did not want to sign Chapman. Simeon, I get it. Matt Olson was, no, sign him, and it didn't happen. Braves have lost Freddie Freeman. 5 years, $135 million deal. What a steal for the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman for only $135 million. God! How good that guy is. Ken Korak's father, still alive. Ken Korak's father is 104.
I think Ken said he was 105 the other day.
105. Ken Korak's father's seen everybody. He's like a walking historian. So when Ken Korak's father, who loves baseball, longtime coach, educator in Los Angeles, watches all the Dodger games, tells his son, who is the voice of the A's, legendary play-by-play man, now on the Ford C. Frick Award list, San Francisco Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer, gets a call from his father at the time, who probably was 103, says, hey, this Freddie Freeman guy, he reminds me of Stan Musial.
High praise.
So that's a guy who saw Stan Musial play, and he's watching Freddie Freeman. He goes, Freddie Freeman's like Stan Musial. That's big league. Matt Olson then gets picked up by the Braves from the A's for Christian Pache, Shea Langoliers, Ryan Cusick, and Joey Estes. Now, Christian Pache just is not going to – he's going to be in the league. He's a terrific athlete. He's just never going to hit. He's with the Phillies right now. He's just not going to hit, unfortunately. So where we're at with this trade, Pache's gone. End up being the right move. You kept Rooker. Rooker now is playing. Rooker was an all-star. He's playing at I told you, he's like right now, Brent Rooker is 1,017 OPS this month, 4th best in the majors. That was a good decision. See, one of the things that's tough for us versus front offices, they don't view trades as just you traded that guy for that guy. Trades live forever for them, right? They're branches, right? It's like trees. This guy led to that guy, which led to this, which later on could lead to that. Like, that's how they're always viewing it, to where we're like, this guy for this sucks. And they're like, well, wait a minute. That's the front offices where, and that's how their business works. I get it.
Pache's in 220, by the way. Sure.
He's in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Shea Langeliers. Shown some pop.
Leads the team in homers.
Great arm. He's your starting catcher for the future. You got something there. Ryan Cusick. Throwing the ball well, right?
He's actually, I went to look see where he's at, though. He's pitching in the rookie affiliate right now. He was hurt.
Wasn't he throwing it well, if I remember?
He's made 3 starts, and he's hasn't given up a run.
Yeah, because Moriarty brought him up last time we talked to him. All right, and then the guy that could really be a game changer here, I don't think the A's are ever going to win this trade. I'm not going to play homer here. The A's are not winning this trade. I'm a big Matt Olson believer. I know Matt Olson hasn't gotten out to a great start. By the way, Matt Olson is hot in his last 17 games. Joey Estes. I love me some Joey Estes.
He's pitched well the last few.
I love
and he's
me
young.
Some Joey Estes.
What is he, 21 or 2? He's still super young.
He's not that. Is he 22? 22, you are correct, sir.
He'll be 23 in October.
So if Shea Langeliers, a lot has to do with Matt Olson, though. If Matt Olson goes on to have a career, which I predicted will be one where he gets Hall of Fame votes, I'm not saying he's getting into the Hall of Fame. I think he can get votes. He's going to have gold gloves. He's going to have a ton of bombs. Those things tend to get you votes. It's going to be tough for any of these guys to be able to say. I mean, Langeliers would have to be a perennial all-star. Estes would have to be just lights out, and then Cusick has to become something. If you got 3 of those guys, I think it's going to be tough to say you won that trade. But what if Joey Estes becomes the pitcher we think he can be? Because when you talk to Joey Estes, you start to believe more and more in him. Like big game hunter type kid. I like it. But I'm not going to like the trade. I'm not going to lie to you. Not going to play homer. I'm not going to like the trade. I love me some Matt Olson. It is what it is. But if Shea Langeliers blossoms, if he keeps getting better, right? Make more contact, continue to hit power. Hey, I mean, guy could have 25-plus home runs this year. If Joey Estes emerges as a terrific pitcher and you get something out of Cusick, we could be talking differently. Right now, clearly Braves won the trade.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy's played in 4 games. Sean Murphy's 29 years old. Ruiz last year led the American League in stolen bases. This is where it really would have flipped, but they clearly have flipped the A's on Ruiz. Would you agree on that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He barely played the month of May before he got hurt. He only had like 11 at-bats before he got hurt. So it was 11 at-bats. He wasn't stealing, but he only had 5 steals, where at this point last year he had like close to 30, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a completely different player. I mean, the confidence. You could see just from being around him, the confidence was just gone.
So that would be a different conversation we would be having right now, but we are where we're at. I wish Ruiz was playing all the time, but I don't make out the lineup. Kyle Moeller, who had started the year fantastic. What he had done out of the bullpen, really showing you promise, now on the IL. Hard. Freddie Tarnok, I've liked what I've seen when we saw him last year. Tall, skinny right-hander. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. He had the hip problem. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. We'll see. Roy Bear Salinas, they like a lot. Manny Pena.
Thanks for the memories.
This is kind of like as of right now. I mean, Sean Murphy had good numbers last year. Murph for the Atlanta Braves hit 21 home runs, hit 251 at his best career OPS for a full time at 844. But once again, he's been hurt. He's played in 4 games.
Was he an all-star last year?
Yeah. And he wasn't great in the second half, though. A lot of his stuff was early. But right now, 29 years old and played in 4 games.
They hit the oblique this year.
This isn't looking good either way right now.
If Salinas and
Muller
can be what the organization expects, I think you can potentially win this deal. And if you fall back in love with Ruiz, which doesn't look like they are right now, I know he's hurt, so that kind of skews it.
I would lean more Atlanta too with this trade as of right, but Murph hasn't played.
So yeah,
And now I don't even know when he's expected back. Is he back?
Yeah, he's playing. He came back like either the day before Memorial Day or on Memorial Day.
Dude, it's Friday.
Yeah, he came back. He came back like earlier this week. He was out since he played opening day.
So how much has he played since he's come back?
3 games, I think, because I think he played 1 game. He played opening day, got hurt, and then he came back. So he's played 3 games, right? Because he said he's played 4 total. So he's played 3 games since then.
Well, he's got a 143 average and 286 OPS. Good luck, Murph. Big Murph. You know, I don't know. Will he ever have big power numbers? I think contact is always going to kind of be, you know, from a standpoint, it's always going to be a low batting average.
What did he hit in 2020 for us?
2020, he hit 233.
How many home runs, though?
7.
That's right, because he got, So it was, I think last year's the best you'll get out of him is the 21 homers. Plus, he plays on a lot of, last year they had a lot of protection in the lineup.
And that's also really interesting, too. It's like when you're in a loaded lineup, how you get pitched versus when you are the middle of the order guy. Because when he was the middle of the order guy for the A's, it's a completely different player.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you get pitched when you got a bunch of stars around you. You get a lot more. So right now, I think no question they won the Matt Olson trade and leaning right now Sean Murphy, but it could flip. Like, I wouldn't be saying that if Ruiz was stealing bags right now. If Ruiz was playing and stealing bags and I got Muller and I got Salinas coming, I'd be like, well, hey, listen, Murph hasn't been healthy and he's going to be turning 30. The fact that Ruiz just doesn't play, that's what makes this trade mind-blowing.
Yeah. And the guys, real quick, like 2 of the guys the Brewers got back in that deal, William Contreras has been awesome, and Payamps has been very good for them too. So the Brewers, I think, right now have won the 3-way trade.
The fact.
Contreras has been awesome.
Yeah, because how old is Contreras?
He's young, and he's hitting when I last looked, he was hitting like 340.
Brewers, one of the best stories in baseball.
Contreras is 26.
All right, who are we using in pregame today?
We got CJ.
Yeah.
He's at 317 right now. 8 homers, 43 RBIs.
By the way, I just got the email. 80 arrested down at UC Santa Cruz.
Wow. Okay.
When's the last time 80 people got arrested in Santa Cruz? Could that be a record?
Might be.
Santa Cruz, right? What the hell's going on in Santa Cruz? All right, coming up next, we got A's baseball. We got a weekend of baseball. Let's go. Hey, you got to put Tampa behind you. It's how our sport works. Always moving forward. Braves, A's next. Thank you, everybody, for watching A's Cast Live. We're back on Tuesday.
At the Coliseum. Mariners.
You bring that damn moose to the field. I'm telling you right now, you bring that stupid moose.
We're
going to have issues.
I'm going to try to bring us someone better. Our good friend, Arkansas great, Ryan Stanek.
Oh.
We'll have to try to get Stanley on.
Future A. Yeah, he just doesn't know it.
Yeah.
Ryan Stanek will be an A. I've told him that.
We got to speak into the universe with David. Like, hey, we got this guy.
That'd be perfect for you.
He can open.
Flowing long hair.
He could start and close.
Throws hard. He's your guy. He's great on A's Cast. I mean, he'd walk right in an A's Cast legend.
Yeah, and he's big college football guy.
Oh, Ryan Stanek would be perfect for us.
Yeah.
It's a match made in heaven. Who else are you going to get?
I'm going to try to get him. I don't know, our good friend Aaron Goldsmith.
Bring the hair over.
Yeah, he does have good hair.
Oh, the TV hair. It's beautiful. All right. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Weather's going to be beautiful, right?
It's supposed to be warm.
It's hot. Summertime is supposed to be hot.
Yeah, the unofficial start of summer is Memorial Day, so we're there.
We're there.
Yeah.
Pools are opening. Let's go. A's baseball next. We'll talk to you throughout the weekend. Make sure you call 833-625-2278 on the A's Clubhouse Show. A's baseball next. This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel, design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Being a Chevron car these days has been quite the adventure. Miami to Seattle, ocean to ocean. I've stopped at so many states and collected so many bumper stickers. Sometimes I feel like a moving passport book. It's just so great what I can do with Chevron with Techron, because it gives me unbeatable mileage and keeps my engine clean. Plus, there are so many Chevrons along the way. Now the only thing I'm worried about is where to go next and where to put all my new bumper stickers. Chevron with Techron, fueled by possibility.
Baseball season is officially here, and there's no better time to build your collection of Topps trading cards. Topps packs feature everything from top stars, rookies, game-used memorabilia, and autographs from players around the league, as well as special inserts and surprises. Visit your local hobby shop, retailers, and Topps.com to collect the first product of the season, Topps Baseball Series 1. Follow @Topps on social media to join the conversation and start sharing your collection today.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit Xfinity.com/network management.
If you haven't been to the Chicken Pie Shop in Walnut Creek, what are you waiting for? You're going to love the new menu, and it's a great place to watch all the games. Come taste their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. They have a new spring menu with special dishes and a full bar with new delicious spring cocktails. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next corporate party or birthday celebration. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Nestled in the hills of San Jose, minutes from Silicon Valley, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club offers 27 holes of championship golf, first-class pro shop, practice facility, and great food in the grill. This time of year also means family and business get-togethers. Let the folks at Cinnabar Hills make your event unforgettable while enjoying their award-winning venue. It's all there for you. Championship golf, a great space for any events, and incredible food. See it all at CinnabarHills.com. That's CinnabarHills.com.
Hi, fans. This season, Kingsford Capital Management is the official hedge fund sponsor of the Oakland A's. At Kingsford, down to business is their way of seeing the world. Investing has its pitfalls, treacherous chasms of half-truth and despair. Kingsford's mission is to create opportunity through application of proven innovation and entrepreneurial focus with trust, tenacity, loyalty, and growth, establishing a strong reputation as a proven intendant and validated bedrock of American finance. Kingsford Capital, down to business.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Throws and set. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
Introducing Ultimate.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.